I remember the first day that Billy started to hate Tony. Do you guys remember what the first day was? Because there was a singular act at the beginning that triggered, that was the spark that would become the raging flame and bonfire that was Billy's hatred toward Tony.
Now I'm pitting cast members against each other that aren't even here.
Do you remember? Do any of you remember? Because the day that it happened was Tony was joining our show, and he was on Instagram showing himself making a bunch of jumpers. And Billy's like, no, man, our show's the show that misses the jumpers. And so since then, Tony's been trying to get a tryout with when the big three come into town. And I don't mean LeBron and Bosh and Wade, I mean Ice Cube's league. When the big three comes to town, whenever there's anything at the arena across the street that involves professional basketball players, Tony tries to get in there. And I'm there for the first time in 5 years, Tony has gotten in there, and so he's trying out for the Heat today.
10-day Tony, he's at Kaseya Center right now. We will check in with him. I don't know the exact details. I just know he's trying out for something.
I did not pit these cast members against each other. They pit themselves against each other. Roy, do you remember Billy's reaction to Tony on Instagram, draining a bunch of jumpers from distance, and Billy like, what are you doing? That's not what our show is. Our show misses the jumpers.
Yeah, it seemed like disgust coming out of Billy's face.
That's exactly what was coming out of his face and his mouth, his eyes. Just the entirety of the face was giving off disgust.
All right, but obviously way before I started working on this show, I watched Roy. I was there. I was shagging fly balls. I watched Roy hit a home run over the blue scoreboard at Joe Robbie Stadium.
I told Carl this the other day, our head of audio. He was truly shocked by it. I've never seen
I was there.
I have never seen anyone as shocked by anything as Carl was to hear the news that Roy had hit a home run out of a Major League Baseball park.
Into the club seats, Dan. Like it was one of the greatest athletic feats I've ever seen.
I love how offended Roy gets when we're shocked by that. Yeah. He just looked back, he's like, I played baseball. It's like, Roy, I played high school baseball, and I don't think I could hit one out of a major league park.
So did I.
Crushed it.
Chris Cody still is living off his opposite field single against Matt Latos in high school. A little blooper, a little looper over the first baseman.
Hit so hard that the runner on second couldn't score. Had to stop him at third. Hit too hard. Right fielder already has it.
I used the driver on a par 3. It got 2 inches within the cup.
I hit a home run in the media softball game at Marlins Park.
Yeah, you did.
That fence was about 180.
It was 9-0 with a 1.15 ERA, but no one's counting.
My baseball career ended. This is how it ended. I was on first base, and because you guys just mentioned that a guy couldn't score from second because you hit the single so hard, and I just imagined that the guy on second was me because I'm not particularly fast, and my baseball career ended when there was a wild pitch, and I tried to take second, but it bounced off the backstop so fast that the catcher still threw me out at second, and that's how.
Yep, I've seen that happen. That's never a good look.
Mike Ryan, Jonathan Zaslow. Greg Cody, Roy Bellamy, Jeremy Tache, Tony Colariu, Chris Cody, Dan Le Batard.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mic's up, cue.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show.
I was trying to think whether there had ever in the history of South Florida sports been a story like Bam Adebayo punching Tyler Hero. Whether anywhere in all the time that all of us have been talking about sports and beyond, if South Florida sports has a story that's that sort of juicy for those among us who chew on the drama and the soap opera of things. I have a lot of questions and I have a lot of thoughts on this because I think people are misunderstanding what happened here. This Heat team that just got done playing was among the least introspective Heat teams of my lifetime in terms of guys you talk to and do interviews with, and just guys who think about basketball and little else. Like, there's not a lot of thought going on that you do interviews with these players. Like, this is a team that's had Dion Waiters and Hassan Whiteside and a number of different players who aren't introspective, but this one is among the most recent one is among the worst 4 interviews that I've ever seen. I don't think of Bam and Tyler as spending a lot of time thinking about their feelings or expressing their feelings. So I'll get to the details of this story in a second. But I need you guys to help me with some of the young people stuff in here, because I don't know what is upsetting to Bam Adebayo about this quote in direct messages on social media to whoever it is Tyler Hero's second account was allegedly sending this to.
What a stupidity that is, right, by the way?
I mean, start there with the stupidities, but the quote from Tyler Hero, "If I'm healthy, they can't see me. Word to my mother." I haven't heard that since Vanilla Ice. Like, word to your mother is not something I have heard word to my mother since Vanilla Ice was frauding his way, pretending to be Miami when he was coming up in hip-hop and culturally appropriating.
But you can't see me. That's John Cena. That's John Cena.
But the word to my mother, "If I'm healthy, they can't see me," what does that mean? How did that make Bam so upset that Bam is punching Tyler Hero in an incident that has no precedent that I can recall in South Florida history?
What a cell phone "if I'm healthy" is, especially for that player.
So here's what I've got for you guys on this story, because I do not believe that this is just about this. I believe is to both of them tied to this failure, and now one of them has been shipped to Milwaukee, and he didn't think that he was the problem. This is not a self-aware person. I think Tyler Hero thinks he's the best. And I think that Tyler Hero looks at what happened with the Miami Heat and wonders to himself over many years, why is Bam our sacred child? I think this goes back to Tyler Hero in the bubble scoring 37 and what those guys expected to be versus what they were at the end. And whatever it is that tore apart McDaniel and Tua, when those guys got torn apart by the pressure of being the epicenter for the blame, I think that's what happened here. You got 2 guys more responsible for how all this deteriorated over the last few years. And I don't think it's a coincidence that Bam waited until he wasn't a teammate to hit him. Like, I don't think that that's a coincidence that did not happen when they were in the same uniform.
Yeah, agreed. One little bit of context here. There was a report from Barry Jackson, who does a tremendous job covering the Miami Heat. It was roughly, I want to say, midweek last week. Anywho, the report was that there was resentment among Miami Heat players that Bam was just never subject to trade rumors, that he was always off the table, that despite the team's mediocrity, Bam never had to go through what the other players had to.
And Barry said that right after the alleged punch.
All right, but like, that's such bullshit. And I'm not saying that Barry Jackson's report there is bullshit. It's bullshit that you look at that with no context, all right? Jimmy is subject to trade rumors because he's 36 years old and he wanted $55 million a season. And Tyler Hero is subject to trade rumors because they think he's a good player, but not a great player, and they'd like to get a better player. I don't know. It's bullshit that other guys are upset that Bam wasn't subject to trade rumors.
I don't think it's bullshit. I think it's inner office dynamics, and it's why the Seattle Seahawks ended up hating their own quarterback, because he had a certain relationship with management that made them all more expendable, because he was the guy who marched in lockstep with management. Like, I believe that what happened here, and we'll get more and more details. I look forward to seeing the video. We've got some Draymond Green sound where he admits that he was hurt after he punched Jordan Poole in the face.
He was hurt.
That Draymond Green was emotionally hurt after he punched Jordan Poole in the face and hurt his face, Jordan Poole's face.
I hope he could recover from that.
He was emotionally hurt because Udonis Haslem was among the critical people, and he said something that has some wisdom in it when it comes to criticism. Draymond Green says, I'm immune to the opinions of people I don't respect or care about, but I'm not immune to the opinions of people I do respect. And so when Udonis Haslem was critical of Draymond Green, who punched Jordan Poole in a leaked video while they were still teammates, here's what Draymond Green has to say about Udonis Haslem that has now pissed off Udonis Haslem.
And I remember one person when the Jordan Poole incident happened with me who was really, really, really outspoken about it, who like everyone else didn't have a ton of context because you weren't there, but was really outspoken about it. And it really bothered me was Udonis Haslem. And the reason it really bothered me is because, man, everybody can have an opinion, and your opinion is what your opinion is, but you know, I saw Udonis Haslem get into it with guys on teams that was younger than him before, a la Jimmy Butler. I had seen that before, and then he came out and he like, that's ridiculous. You get into it with your young guy. I can't believe you did that. And it really bothered me because I was like, damn, man, like, so this dude ain't never been in, and this dude ain't never been in practice where somebody get into a fight. He ain't never got into a fight in practice, maybe not. He been in Miami the whole time. Maybe they don't have fights in their practice, you know, the heat, what is it? Heat culture or heat wave. So when I first saw this, I was like, damn, this is two young guys Udonis Haslem raised. And yeah, they not on the same team no more, but if you raise this young guy in the light of what you were saying about me, and now he punches this other young guy that y'all kind of co-raised, are you going to have that same energy?
Do you think there will ever be a day? We're years removed from Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole. I believe it was in 2020. I think it was 2022. I think it was right after they won their title. So 4 years ago. Do you think there will ever be a day where Draymond, realizes maybe what he did was shitty? Like, will he ever admit that punching Jordan Poole was wrong and stop looking for reasons and explanations why what I did was actually okay because it's the same as this and it's the same as this?
That's what he's doing right here. Because Draymond Green is at the center of a controversy that we haven't seen a whole lot of, and it scarred him, the trauma of that. It's not just the shame involved with the leaked video. It's also the idea that he's a shitty teammate when he's a championship teammate. Like the idea, the part that scars Draymond there is the sacredness of the small inner circle of the huddle. Outside it, he has looked like, because of one act, not the every day of it, the every year of it, he's looked at as somebody who is kind of shitty as a teammate in that circumstance. And so he's looking for comps, but there are no comps because we don't have video. Like, there are no comps that you have of one teammate punching another, unless that didn't even happen to Steve Smith. Like, Steve Smith was punching multiple teammates when he was a football player, but there's not video of it.
Yeah, I also want to suggest that that's not the only reason people think he's a bad teammate. Yes, that's the headline incident, but it's also the situations that he puts his teams in because of his own lack of control, famously in the NBA Finals and in games. He's a hothead.
I mean, did he run Kevin Durant out of Golden State?
Oh, but there is no chance, 0% chance, that whatever you think of Draymond as a bad teammate, he thinks he's a bad teammate. If you ask Draymond Green, are you a good teammate or are you a bad teammate? There is no way that he's answering that question, I'm a bad teammate. And so when I talk about a lack of self-awareness, Draymond's actually somebody who I find very introspective. He's got a documentary where he's going to therapy to work. It's on Amazon, to work on his anger control problems. I find him to be someone who's always exploring his feelings. But in this spot, I don't think he would have an accurate self-assessment of who he is. But he has more information than we do on whether he's a good or bad teammate. We just have the public stuff.
I would agree that he probably lacks self-awareness there, especially considering this past season he decided to tell everybody that he is not a dirty player. I mean, how could you possibly say such a thing?
So Udonis comes back with a wordy response. Udonis doesn't do a whole lot of this. He's in the media game now, so this is beneficial for him to do some of it. But he just says to Draymond Green, if Draymond was upset by the lack of respect from Udonis before, he's going to be even more upset by this. When he says, I see some things just don't change, LOL. You was on sucker shit 4 years ago when you swung on Jordan Poole, and you on sucker shit now. I usually don't engage, but since you went so far left to get my attention, here it is. This is a super rare thing. I've told you before that the Miami Heat thrive on conflict, like conflict. Pat Riley had no issue with Alonzo Mourning and Shaquille O'Neal getting in his face. He would always say, that's fine. Say bleep you to me, but teach me something. Teach me something in the fire of the conflict. Shaq has been pulled out by security in his rage, and I would not want to see that man in rage because of how they play with conflict. But this is Bam hurt by what happened here in private, because Bam really supportive of Tyler Hero. Tyler Hero was really supported by Jimmy Butler. These guys, publicly and privately, were very supportive of Tyler Hero. And all that's happening here is two people who aren't terribly introspective are hurt. Bam, because of what Tyler said when they've always defended Tyler. Tyler, because he was traded and blamed for everything that happened here over the last few years. This has been building since Tyler scored 37 in the bubble. This is the net result of we're not allowed to fight each other when we're in the cauldron. When we're in the cauldron, everything about what we're doing at work, much of it unpleasant, by the way. I know a lot of people think that basketball lifestyle is glamorous, and it is in some respects, and obviously the games and the money are lovely. But doing walkthroughs in ballrooms after you've arrived at 4 o'clock in the morning and traveling with these people everywhere, there are all sorts of tensions that fester. I don't believe this is just about this incident. I believe that this is the perfect punctuation on the failure of this core.
I get you're saying that these guys are hurt and Tyler is hurt because he was traded, but Tyler got in front of a microphone on the same day and told everyone how everything is good with Miami. I respect all those guys, the coaches, the front office. He named a bunch of guys by name. But it's Bam that as if Bam traded him? He's talking shit about Bam behind his back to some random fan, which, again, is just mind-numbing stupidity, as if the fan wasn't going to screen grab and then post what you said about Bam at a bio. It's snake behavior, Dan. Why is he speaking that way about Bam, about any of his teammates?
It's really surprising with Bam in particular because, like Dan mentioned, Bam always had Tyler's back publicly and privately.
Be mad at the organization.
Amidst a really turbulent time, not just for the team, but for specifically Jimmy, Bam, and Tyler. And as everything ended with Jimmy and he sort of threw both guys to the side, Bam, who had been there as his wingman the entire time, Tyler, who was a guy that he initially built up as basically a kid, those two bonded over that. They were close. They were Kentucky guys, and Bam was always hyping up Tyler. And I think really you got to a space about near the trade deadline of this year where finally, as Tyler had constant unavailability on the floor, and Bam was a guy who constantly played through nagging injuries to try to will this team even to the play-in, he grew frustrated. They started to have resentment, and Tyler eventually became a guy who said, no, I'm great, which is, by the way, the only reason he got to be this great. That irrational confidence.
Oh, but wait a minute, though. When you say irrational confidence, it lacks some self-awareness because you've got at the core of this one thing, which is Tyler Hero is not going to look in a mirror and say, I'm not good enough. He's going to look somewhere else for who's not good enough. So you have that. But the other layer to this that you guys, I think, are missing is Bam is a pillar of professionalism. but Bam is also an extension on the court of all of management the way Udonis Haslem was. And that has a resentment in it when you're not one of the teacher's pets. Bam has been treated with great respect by this organization because he gives this organization great respect. This is the worst public moment Bam has ever had. I'm not even sure this organization goes after 83 points if it's Tyler Hero who's going after him. Do you think so? Do you guys think it's Tyler? Like, the favoritism is earned, but it's still favoritism. Like, they absolutely favor Bam, and I don't think Tyler's checking a mirror when he sees that favoritism happening.
But that's the business, though. Also, I don't think we can continue to say he's a pillar of professionalism.
I don't know about that.
I don't think so. Guys, like, I've marinated on this because I did the Heat rah-rah thing. Like, yeah, this is cool. Punch him in the face. Screw him talking that shit. And then I realized after about a day, it's kind of whack. This is a bad look. Popping somebody in the face because they just talk shit about you because of, like, with a burner account, like, he's gone. Like, punching him on the way out and making Tyler Hero a joke. And I know, like, maybe Davion Mitchell was looking at somebody else.
Oh no, he was fully like messing with Jaime Jaquez Jr. on the other end. But they're boys, like, they're close. They were just working out together.
Bullying these guys on the way out when the entire team, the entire core was, very disappointing. It's not the cool look that people think it is. It is actually a lot closer to Draymond Jordan Poole behavior than it is to Heat culture.
I don't know if I agree with this just simply because the details that at least we've been told so far are not that, like, Bam went and sought out Tyler to make up for what had happened with these DMs.
No, it seems like that is what happened.
No, it seems like he walked onto the court and then Tyler started talking to him from across the way, and he went up, but he was frustrated. He was hurt after everything that we were talking about.
Why would Bam be going into the ballroom where Tyler's AAU team is playing?
Guys, I really do think this misses some things, okay? I don't know if you guys fight with your significant others and if those fights are always about the thing it's about, but this is the last drop in a bucket that's making the bucket overflow, and one of the things you could look at is Bam got his money. Jimmy and Tyler didn't get their extensions. Like, start there. Like, you can make it about everything else, but this ain't about DMs. Like, this is about a workplace for the last several years as they were building something in a cauldron where conflict is the norm. It's a feature, not a bug. Like, you're talking about preferential treatment for Bam. I think it's earned. He plays hard on both ends, and he's available all the time. That's why he's an extension of management. They needed one after Udonis left. He's the guy. Udonis has been there for 20 bleeping years as the extension on the court, the same way that the quarterback's the extension for management on the court. You saw what happened with Russell Wilson after they won a championship. This didn't win a championship. This collapsed at the end, and Bam got his money. Bam got his money and his favoritism and his preferred status, and Tyler, in the shadows, says something different, allegedly, according to what this is his second account, right? This isn't even Tyler Hero's actual account. It's known to be his second. It's not even a secret account, but it's him in disguise, is it not? This is him doing something in the shadows as he puts on the public face because he doesn't want the problems with management, but he's already got the problems with Bam.
It's a circus. It's a circus for a mediocre team. This isn't like championship DNA stuff. I'm a Heat rah-rah guy. I love UD invoking Tim and Zoe. You gotta take.
Oh, you better mention that he invoked Glenn. Yeah. Do not gloss over him saying and Glenn.
I think you gotta take a step back and say, like, this shit happens to bad teams. Like, this isn't nearly as cool as I thought initially.
Okay,
like,
so it's interesting that you say that.
I think it's kind of unprofessional and a little circusy.
Okay, it's interesting that you say that part, because I'll back up for a moment. As far as the incident goes, like, I do think there's part of it where I like what Bam did, because it's enough with just in general talking shit on social media. Like, that's the lamest thing. And burner accounts and DMs and talking shit. That whole deal is lame, okay? It's like when Mike Tyson said, we forget the way we talk on the internet that sometimes you can get punched in the face. But setting that aside for a second here, I do agree with what Mike is saying from the respect of one of the things I love about the Miami Heat, about the organization, is they don't get involved in the bullshit. They don't get involved in the nonsense. The main thing is the main thing, and it's basketball, and it's being serious about basketball. And right now, the Heat are in the middle of the bullshit. Like the same way that Dion Waiters is, taking too many gummies and spazzing out and they got to land the plane. Like that's bullshit that my team is not supposed to be in the headlines for, and that's embarrassing to me. So that's, from that respect, I don't like this because this is the bullshit that this team usually avoids.
But to Mike's point about this being over the last year a bit of an irrelevant, mediocre franchise, the only times in the last year that the Miami Heat have been a part of a conversation of any kind that's national is when they trade for Giannis, when Bam gets 83 or this. Everything else is irrelevant. It's a regional sports team over the last year, and the things that they're doing are not interesting to anybody nationally. Before that, it was the bullshit of Jimmy Butler. Like, the national stories around this team are not celebrating the play. It's nonsense.
Also, socked him without hesitation and going at Tyler Hero. You don't get cool points and badass points for socking Tyler Hero. Yeah, I'd hope it's without hesitation. It's Tyler Hero. Have you seen the video of him using the punching bag? Like, no, like it's like bullying a child on the way out. It's just circusy. It feels it's Washington Wizards behavior. It's not championship behavior. And I know I'm playing the result because this team is perpetually in the play-in, but people have been breathless saying that this is an all-time moment and pounding their chests and all that. Okay. This is embarrassing.
I don't know who's saying that. I do know that Jeremy's about to punch you in the face because he disagrees.
Can you imagine?
This is funny, though, looking at Jeremy. Like, Jeremy seems like one of the last people I would ever think to be pro-fight, but the Heat do it, and he's come on.
If the Celtics did this, Jeremy would be laughing at what a shit show they became.
The fact that you're trying to spin this like, oh, this is good. This is a good thing.
Don't lie. No. If the Celtics did this, we'd all be laughing at what a shit show they became.
He's not. The way I have interpreted Jeremy's theatrical faces is not that he's good with how cool the fight was. It's that he disagrees with just about everything Mike's saying. That's the way I've interpreted it.
I just don't really understand. Look, I get the element of this that does feel like it's not the standard on the court. Udonis Haslem and David West, things like that, right? But I think that Bam was legitimately hurt by the way that this ended. And again, the way that this has been reported is not that he went and sought him out. Everyone is in this hotel ballroom working out. And if Tyler, after those DMs leak and after he posted a graphic on that same Instagram talking about how Giannis and Bam are in the bottom 10 in mid-range field goal shooting. And Bam is sitting there like, dude, I backed you up time and time again. And by the way, the whispers over and over again were that basically Tyler, when he wouldn't dress, it was because he wouldn't play unless he was feeling 100%, because he didn't want to get the blame if he played poorly. While Bam was out there playing through everything. He was the captain. He was the leader. He had the guys back. And at the end of it, that type of betrayal happens.
Let me ask you something.
I can understand the frustration. That's all.
Let me ask you something. Do you think the Heat are happy this happened?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Whoa.
But also there's a fire there that they might like.
Whoa. I'd be real curious for the honest thoughts of Pat Riley and Udonis Haslem on this, because I'm less sure than you are on this based on this part of what I know about this team and who leads it. Pat Riley was very close friends with the Van Gundys, very close friends. And he torched the friendship with Jeff Van Gundy before a Game 7 against the Knicks publicly by I wrote a column. They called me from a boat to torch that friendship because he wanted the stakes higher in that Game 7 and just set fire to the friendship. Pat Riley has lifers and loyalists who work for him because once you work for someone else, you're not with him anymore. You're not on his team anymore. And so I'm less sure than you are. I don't know. I do not know. I have not talked to him about this, but I'm less sure than you are, given whatever the frustrations are with Tyler Hero here, how upset they actually are that this is the end result of the punctuation of, and really after all that, you're going to talk shit in the shadows? You're not even going to say it in my face? You're not even going to say it to me. You're going to do it from a burner account with some random fan outside of our circle, and then you're going to go in front of everybody and say the bullshit of, I'm fine with everybody on the Heat, but on the internet I'm eating up bullshit?
Interestingly enough, I think the Heat would have been more okay with him doing it on the court.
100%. 100%. And knowing what I know about Bam, I'm not friends with him, but I'd say if anybody kind of regrets the actions of a few days ago, it might be Bam the most. Guys, if talking shit behind someone's back in the workplace was the barometer for socking them in the face, we'd see this every day in the NBA. It's not... doing it from a burner account, it's bullshit. Talking shit behind someone's back is bullshit. It's not worth punching somebody in the face over in a public place, bringing this kind of attention to the franchise. It's a circus. And I'm 100% right that if it happened to the Celtics, Jeremy would be on their ass.
I would really need to know which players.
I think if the Heat had that much of a problem with it, there would be punitive measures for embarrassing them.
They might be handling that in-house.
I think the league's going to punish.
Well, the league might punish, but the Heat aren't commenting. They don't even have a comment. The Heat don't even have a comment saying we don't condone violence. Like, it's just no comment.
There's no comment, and there's a video of Bobby Portis doing an introduction on social media and Bam walking up and shoving him and basically calling him an asshole and them getting along that way. So I think that's all the comment that you need.
People may not remember Bobby Portis' rookie year. He punched out cold one of his teammates in Chicago.
Usually the fights in sports are over women or gambling debts. They're not over hurt feelings.
And that was a circus. It is pretty much always a circus when something like this happens. The Heat are not immune to it, especially when they don't have the recent success to point to. What I'm just saying is let's catch our breath. This isn't nearly as cool, and punching Tyler Hero isn't nearly as cool as you think it is. It's a pretty easy mark.
Bonus points if you remember which teammate Portis punched out.
Wasn't Rondo.
Niko Mirotic.
No. Top shelf, huh?
I can't remember this ever happening in South Florida sports before. The closest thing I have to it is the Blades brothers used to throw weights at each other in the weight room when they'd get mad at each other. And everybody would scamper. They'd throw the dumbbells at each other.
There is presently a case in litigation for several years on end involving the University of Miami football team.
Can't think of anything I'd want thrown at me less than a dumbbell.
Yeah.
Hot soup.
A knife.
All right, fine.
Shout out J.R. Smith.
The part of this, though, as Mike says, circus again and again, and Mike says people think it is cool. I'm not absorbing or hearing any of what is cool here. I've rarely heard that a fight like this between, especially these two, where I think most people looking at this would say, just physically looking at it, that this is bullying. Like that, if Tyler Hero punching Bam would be something more surprising than Bam punching Tyler Hero, but it is weird that it is Bam, and you guys are skipping right past the part I keep bringing up, which is at the end, McDaniel and Tua thought they had a good relationship, right up until everything started flaming out and blame had to be assigned, and then their relationship fell apart. Bam and Hero thought they had a good relationship. And then the Celtics passed them, and the Knicks passed them, and the Hawks passed them. And none of that was supposed to happen when Tyler Hero was scoring 37 in the bubble. And when you're living with that every day, and everyone's wondering, hey, Tyler, can you get better? And Tyler's like, I'm plenty good enough. It's not my fault. This isn't my fault. What about this guy? What about the guy they gave the money to? Think about that for a second. There is no one with the Heat willing to say Bam's not good enough. Everyone says he's untradeable. No one says that of Bam, except Mike Ryan. Like people who are frustrated, fans who are frustrated with Bam, but no one inside of the organization says Bam's not good enough. Now Tyler's the one giving voice to it. And it's because once Jimmy left, it was the two of them. And then who else you going to blame? This isn't Bam fighting the third player. It's not the fourth player. It's the two who are getting the blame as not good enough. I think that's the core of it, where Tyler's still saying, it ain't my fault. You saw what I did when I'm healthy. Word to your mother.
Tyler Hero was in trade rumors for 5 consecutive years. His experience down here in Miami every summer was, I guess I'm going to Houston. Oh, I might be going to Milwaukee this time. Is it going to be Portland? So I can understand him not thinking that the gulf between him and Bam is like, wait, Bam's living this charm life every year. Just the golden boy of the organization and never subject to this, even though they're always fishing for superstars and he'd be an easy name to throw in to acquire a superstar that is perceived as better. I can understand there being animosity there, some bitterness.
Shouldn't the animosity be the organization then?
But dude, I think this happens everywhere. Everywhere. And sometimes when this stuff happens, we don't hear about it. I guarantee you there have been several instances of teammates getting in fights that we never hear about it.
But Zaz, when you say shouldn't his anger be at the organization, it is. Bam is the representative for this organization. The comps that we have on this locally are Incognito and Jonathan Martin, but that doesn't have reports of hitting, physical contact, a fight being won or lost. It doesn't have that example. Udonis went at Jimmy Butler in protection of Spo, and we clucked plenty about that, but it doesn't have someone being hit. It doesn't rise to the level of physical confrontation that is people being pulled apart. It's just one dude being punched and taking it, right? Because it's not the way that I've read about the accounts of this, and I'm surprised that there's not more video. It's just Tyler Hero taking a punch. It's not several punches. It's not knocking him out. Do you think this is much different? It has to be much different if we could see it, right? I think the reaction to this is much different if all of a sudden you see Tyler Hero crumbling. If what happened to Jordan Poole is something that makes you feel bad for Tyler Hero.
It's only a matter of time. You got to think.
This happened in a video.
There is video. We just haven't seen it yet. But this happened in a Las Vegas hotel ballroom. There's video.
There has to be video. In fact, there's nowhere where there are more cameras than in a Las Vegas hotel. Like if you want to talk about the stupidity of this, doing it in a Las Vegas hotel is at the top of the list on dumb things, given how many cameras there are. And I wonder how much the conversation of this is going to change if you see Tyler Hero crumble the way we saw Jordan Poole crumble. Jordan Poole still hasn't recovered from that punch, by the way. This kind of public shaming. Tyler Hero's in his shower this morning, and I should have done this, and I could have done that, and I would have said this, and what if I had done that? Because all he's getting now is, oh, really? You're just the submissive who gets hit and then and talks shit in private, and you don't do anything?
I mean, look, it's not just about Tyler Hero and Jordan Poole. We heard Draymond. He's having a hard time dealing with it as well. He's very hurt.
I think Izzy made the point on the Draymond front that Draymond's kind of grasping at straws here, looking at the Miami Heat to kind of legitimize his bullshit, which is a bit different. And my argument is, yeah, it's different, but it's not that different.
Well, it's different because it's not happening in a closed practice among just your inner circle that is then leaked to the public. This is something that is happening with a former teammate, and we still don't know what Jordan Poole, Pablo Torre found out, but we have not heard from the participants what Jordan Poole did, and what he did, according to Pablo Torre finds out, is he talked money. And that's what fights are about in this sport. And it's what this one is about. Like, we're going to make it about other stuff, but Bam got his extension and the other two guys didn't.
That's 100% what happened. Like, in the end here, Tyler this year is playing on an expiring contract. He always thought he was going to get extended. Ultimately, it was his availability, not necessarily his production, by the way.
33 games this year.
Right. What's making me laugh is, like, we're all talking about Tyler Hero like he's a child when he's a 6'5" NBA player. And I just can't believe you guys are turning me, Jeremy Taché, into the talk shit, get hit guy. How am I that person in this conversation?
Can we play the game, what would Bam have to do for Jeremy to criticize him?
Ooh. If the punch was like my mom. My dad,
What if Bam spit in your face?
Bless you.
Was he joking? Was it just playful?
I think he says to his mom, "Mom, talk shit, get hit."
Yeah.
I think is
Mom, what'd you say?
Yeah, Tina, what did you say to Bam?
Last week, incidentally, I mentioned and then never got back to it that ESPN.com had done a top 10 list of best edge rushers. They have now, Chris, done a top 10 list of best tackles in professional football. And when I was saying over the course of the last few months that the Dolphins don't have any players that anyone wants to trade for or any players that anyone in the audience cares about.
Did you see my guy?
Yeah, well, you kept mentioning Patrick Paul. And what
Paul.
Yeah, you just call him Paul because you think that's his first name, his last name, that he should just play as Paul like the Brazilian soccer players. But I'm reading the list of top tackles.
Where was he at?
Well, Patrick Paul, I'm ashamed to say, was not in the top 10.
Honorable mention?
Was also not in the 5 honorable mentions. And unfortunately, was also not in 7 others who were receiving votes.
It's a bullshit list.
Office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's a good look for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such great advice?
With Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man?
Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but 2 of the Love Doctor's marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back. Jack, I suggest you get your girl what you'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her randy ass.
You know about that randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary, also.
I don't like. This isn't. Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't kayfabe. Kayfabe?
Kayfabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
Kayfabe,
Thank
wrestling
you.
nerd here at your service.
This isn't.
Zaz could have helped
Thanks,
there.
Mike Ryan. This isn't kayfabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
So the Steelers. Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's
What?
right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we
Catch as
told
catch
you.
can.
We told you it was. We told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right. And now you just changed
He
it.
botched it to such a degree that there are so many This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings Sports. DraftKings. The crown is yours.
If Tyler Hero were actually interested in hurting the Heat organization and being extra annoying, he presses charges.
Oh, Dan, we have huge breaking news. This is moments ago. The tribal chief, Roman Reigns, he has invited Jalen Brunson to Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden this Saturday night on Peacock. Jalen Brunson has accepted the invitation. Holy shit.
You have disrespected the breaking news sounder.
Wow. Does Metalark want to send me?
You know who's showing up?
I don't.
Halliburton.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Trey Young?
They both have already done this in the WWE. So
Yes.
let's look. We got the SummerSlam to move tickets for.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. If he were trying to be annoying, should Tyler Hero press charges? Chris, I'm going to say it again just so that you're clear on the information I gave you at the end of the last hour.
I don't like it.
ESPN put together a list of the best tackles in the NFL, and Patrick Paul was not among the top 10, but then they had honorable mention, and that was 5 guys. And then less honorable mention, almost dishonorable mention, is the next 7 guys, which was others receiving votes. But Patrick Paul wasn't in the top 22 tackles as listed by ESPN.com.
I'm with Damashek. Nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to linemen.
Not even tackles.
Nope.
Nothing but big boys left in the World Cup. We were always told when it comes to offensive line, if you don't know somebody's name, that's a good thing. Yeah. And no one knows Paul's name, including Chris.
Did I surprise you by saying he was Patrick? That his name is not Paul, it's Patrick. It is Paul, but it's Patrick.
That doesn't make any sense. We all knew who Jonathan Ogden was. That was a bad thing? That doesn't make sense what you said.
That's correct. It's the guards that you don't want to know their names. The tackles, you want to know their names, not the guards so much. The World Cup, though, the big boys, it's nothing but big boys. It's the Giants. And how about Jude Bellingham returning to the form of the pitch from 2 years ago?
And Jude Bellingham has been pretty good, too. That's a fine.
Oh, what did I call him?
Bellington.
Oh, shit.
That's a fine.
Man. God damn it.
It was a funny joke, though. You were so close.
Oh, man. That hurts.
People get names wrong sometimes.
No, but I've been doing it more and more, and it's just debilitating.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. So you've got France and you've got Spain and you've got Argentina and England, and Argentina doesn't feel like it belongs. Obviously it does, but Argentina doesn't seem like it is playing the same way that the other three teams are playing. They just have had weaker opponents, and I don't know if you want to say it's favoritism or not, but suspicious shit keeps happening that leaves the opponents really mad about stuff. The latest being like, I really do think at this time of year, if this is what you're doing after 4 years of waiting for these games, like if you're going to red card somebody, it has to be so egregious. It can't be questionable. Like it just simply cannot be something that's on the line. It has to be something that's egregious if you're going to take away somebody's ability to play in an all or nothing game.
You're talking about the dive? They didn't red card him. That was a second yellow. And the number one complaint that I hear from American sports fans when it comes to soccer is the players dive so much and there isn't scoring. Well, this World Cup, there have been like a handful of games where you're like, man, that's an early 2000s ass game because with all the flopping. They've kind of done a really good job to the point that there's more flopping in the NBA. And the reason why is stuff like we saw in that Switzerland-Argentina game where a guy was trying to draw a call, clearly flopped. It was a second yellow.
Can't do that when you're already on a yellow.
No, it was very stupid. This is why I didn't like the whole Balogun thing, because there's enough of this shit on the internet, and we've kind of made it mainstream now. Argentina, the whole thing is rigged for them. I don't think they rigged that second goal from Julian Alvarez. I don't know how you rig something like that. I don't know how you rig a Swiss player being an idiot, already on a yellow, diving to get another call. That was just Argentina getting through. And while, yes, they haven't played particularly well, their path has been easier compared to some of the other teams, they're still the reigning world champions. And this is a semifinal unlike any we have ever seen in World Cup's history. Dan, it's the top 4 teams in the world.
The part that I don't understand about the controversies we're seeing now, Dan, and you know what? Soccer fans in other countries, if they were to sit and watch American football, they would probably have the same beefs about, I don't understand how the challenges work. And that's what I'm talking about.
What's a catch?
Yeah, but I watch these games and like I understand how VAR works, but there's some things where it's like, wait, they're allowed to use VAR for this and for this, but they can't do it. Like they can't do it to look if the ball hit the cable wire, because by law, if it hits something that's not on the pitch, the play is supposed to be blown dead. But we can go back and we could take a goal away that happened 100 yards before the goal. So like I'm confused with how we're supposed to be allowed to use VAR.
Before you go down the path, though, of talking about the replay, if I can just make the point further on how 2 yellow cards become a red. I don't care at how you get to the red. The red involves you being out of the game and the best player being out of the game for your country. I don't care how it is that you arrive at, yes, he deserved the second yellow. We all understand in the NBA, if the star player has 5 fouls, the 6th one can't be for flopping. Like, we all understand that the stakes become so high in some of these circumstances that the entertainment value of what we're talking about, the rules can't be applied the same at all points, because you can't create that much of a disadvantage over something that is, it happens all over the field to everybody except Argentina. Somehow Argentina doesn't get any of these double yellows.
It's not as visceral as Zidane headbutting Materazzi in the chest, but you just can't do what that player did in that spot, especially if you're carrying a yellow. You cannot flop that egregiously.
He was so sad. He was hysterical crying. I felt bad for him.
I don't understand what's supposed to happen. So we stop the game for 3 minutes. We take a look at VAR to see if there was a foul there, because if he did get contact, that's an important moment in the game, right? So we see that this guy faked it, and we just throw our hands up and say, no, play on. No, we're trying to eradicate the flopping in the sport.
I hate the let's check if this is a foul. Oh, it's not, but that happened on the same play, so we're going to call that instead. I don't like that. That's
a fundamental issue that people have with VAR, is that it's not doing what it was intended. And you mentioned the cable. the ball has data trackers in it. They have to charge that soccer ball before. They can obviously tell if it hits something.
They
on
say
the way
it didn't.
I saw the clip. I can't really tell. I certainly wasn't able to tell being at the match, but I did love Zlatan's quote on the matter, that if the ball did hit the cable, then the cable had a better first half than Madueke.
Good line.
The aforementioned Jude Bellingham, who I called Jude Bellington. How about Jude Bellington? The excuse I'm going to file is that I am disoriented from the sheer amount of people in my city who break out in Hey Jude at all points over the last couple of weeks, because it is being sung so much. There are two songs that the English are singing more than any others. The English are, they have done worlds for the economies that they come and they just drink everyone dry. And they sing the same songs. I understand Hey Jude. I don't understand Wonderwall.
They love Oasis.
But it's just Wonderwall.
It's just a good tune.
Okay, but yes, but what does it have to do? What does it have to? Hey Jude is the guy who keeps scoring, one of the guys who keeps scoring for you. So you're serenading one of the guys. Wonderwall is being sung just because it's a good tune. It's a good tune by Oasis, a famous English band.
Yeah, it's part of the classic English songbook. The same reason why we sing "Sweet Caroline" when we're happy.
But
here.
they're not. But they're. So that's their Sweet Caroline? You're saying, so put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is Wonderwall for the English what Sweet Caroline is for Americans?
FIFA in recent World Cups has introduced two different things. A goal song. For France, for example, when they score a goal, they play Daft Punk's One More Time, which is just an electric moment. But every team also has a victory song after they win. And Wonderwall was, I believe, dedicated to be their victory song.
I like it.
But it's something that they would have sang either way. It's a great unifying thing, especially in England where you have all these different passionate fan bases that under normal instances might hate a player like Reece James, but when he puts on that shirt, he's one of us. So you have a song that brings everybody together.
Chris, would you do me a favor, please, and look up for me the lyrics of Wonderwall, because they don't make any sense, and I want to understand what any of the lyrics to Wonderwall mean, and I don't understand what any of the lyrics to Wonderwall mean.
Today is going to be the day that they're going to throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now.
Those good lyrics.
Keep going.
Backbeat, the word is on the street, and the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how.
I said, maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me.
Also look up for me while you're at it, Jeremy, the details involving Alfred Oglesby's abduction, because this is another local story that has teammates beating up a teammate. And what details do you remember here, Zaslow, about Alfred Oglesby and
I
what
have
his
no
teammates,
idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Alfred Oglesby. Do any of you know what I'm talking about here? The former interior defensive lineman.
He was going to be late to practice, so he lied, saying that he was kidnapped, and Don Shula cut him anyway.
Didn't O.J. McDuffie have an incident?
Oh, that's a good one. Yes. Yeah, well, that's a good. Well, O.J. McDuffie had an incident with Daryl Gardner. Do you not know this story?
I don't think so.
I cannot imagine one in the smoke with Daryl Gardner.
That dude, yeah. You better be nice to Daryl Gardner.
His bald head had muscles.
Yeah.
He went on to become a weightlifter. He would travel with weights. Like he would take his luggage, and his luggage would have weights in it. And later in life, we should get a photograph of Daryl Gardner at this age, because he's a competitive bodybuilder.
How are you a quarterback and you see right in the interior of the defense is Daryl Gardner and Tim Bowens?
Yeah, I thought Daryl Gardner would be better based on how it is that he physically looked, because he was menacing. But O.J. McDuffie did not mind fighting people. In this particular case, he was mismatched by about 100 pounds, so he went to the parking lot to get his gun.
OJ McDuffie, a solid answer to wanting to fight your coworkers in South Florida sports.
Yes, that's
Isn't that right, Dan?
Yes, that's a good one. Yes, OJ McDuffie is a good one. Let's go out to Tony now, who is allegedly trying out for the Heat, or he's finally gotten in the building. Tony, what kind of information do you have for us there? I can't believe you finally got in. You've been trying to get in there to show everybody what you got for 5 years.
Yeah, Dan, the beautiful thing is I was over in Summer League, obviously in Vegas this weekend. A lot of schmoozing, a lot of hobnobbing happens over there. Everybody told me the entire NBA world descends on Vegas for 3 weeks, and I was there able to talk to scouts, talk to people at the Heat. They finally gave me an invite to camp, Dan, so it's actually going on right now. I've been waiting for you guys to come get me because I got to start warming up. I got to start doing stuff. So let's go.
All right, so, okay, you're going now. Okay, he's going right now. All right, no, so he's gone. All right, so wait a minute.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, man.
He said camp.
That's Judy Heat camp.
We're working on dribbling right now.
Wait a minute.
Get out of here.
There's no one there over 9. Hold on a second. Everyone there is under the age of 9.
These guys are, these guys over here are 14, I think. Hey, Coach.
No, Fiorentino's there.
Oh, there's Glenn. Tell Glenn I say hey. Tell Glenn I say what's up.
Hey, G-Money, Zaz says what's up. Zaslow says what's up. What? He gave him the point.
I know, it's my dog.
What's up, baby?
Yeah, what's up, player?
He says that's my dog.
Good to
That's
see
my
you.
Dog.
He can't hear you.
He said good to see you.
That's got so happy.
We're working on here.
This is ridiculous. You're going to post some of those kids up? You've got a size and weight advantage over them.
Good mentals. Good mentals.
Oh, it's Tommy Tig.
You guys going or what? Let's go. Let's go. Huh? Yeah, something like that.
Huh?
All right, we will check back in. We will check back in with Tony in a little bit. Thank you, Tony. We
He said
appreciate.
camp.
Yeah, I did say camp. You're right. So he's joined.
He's in line.
He is in line. He's in line to dribble. He's in line. He's going to show them what he's got. I'm sure this will make Billy Gill appreciate a little bit more all of Tony's skills now that he is at camp with a bunch of 8-year-olds.
Oh, that made my day. Now it's a great day now.
Because Glenn Rice acknowledged you and you
Yep.
started trying to talk to him and then called him playa in
right.
a way that made me uncomfortable.
Clearly couldn't hear you.
And he obviously couldn't hear you, and you were just shouting at him. It was
What's up, playa?
It's like talking to my father's ear on FaceTime. Like he doesn't know how any of it works, Zaslow does.
That made me happy.
Yeah, and can tell you're beaming. I want to talk for a minute because Tony brought this to me. He brought this feeling to me that I'm about to address with you and the audience. If you decided to pay to watch UFC this weekend, you deserve to have your money stolen because you're a sucker. If you thought that Conor McGregor was going to do anything after 5 years of not fighting, 5 years of not winning a fight, and just on the fumes of his name was going to do anything, you deserve to have your money taken by others easily because you're a sucker. It's something that you need to look in the mirror on and see that you are captivated by fame, noise, and nonsense, and don't deserve to have that money. That money should be taken from you by somebody who deserves it more because you are somebody who thinks that a mouth is what it takes to fight.
Do you deserve to have your money taken more because you're a sucker if you paid for this more for the Conor McGregor fight or for the Rousey-Carano fight?
There's a whole bunch of stuff. Typically, I'd agree. I feel bad for the people that bought a ticket to go.
Yeah.
But the UFC famously recently changed their business model. All you have to do is subscribe to Paramount Plus and you get all the fights.
No, but wait a minute. But that, yes, you say that. But the reason Paramount Plus made that investment is because of the sheer number of people who will go and pay for it to just watch one thing. Like, it's why the reason that UFC is worth so much to these streamers is because it's the rare thing that you can put on your streaming service, and people will pay a one-time fee because they want to watch that one fight and don't care about anything else that you've got. It's how Paramount Plus is going after young people. It's how UFC's business model keeps getting bigger.
I'll push back hard on this. There is zero shame in wanting to see the biggest UFC attraction of all time 5 years after you last saw him fight in the octagon.
Okay, so you deserve. You didn't get to.
No, I think like the main talking point about this is, did he come into that fight carrying an injury? And if that's the case, that's bullshit.
You deserve that too. You deserve that too. He's shown you nothing in 5 years, and he's going to get your money again next time. He's going to get it again the next time he does this because he's just a mouth, and he's been just a mouth for 5 years. You deserve someone who's addled by cocaine, steroids, and whiskey, allegedly, not fighting for 5 years, not winning for 5 years, and then having that happen. He's famous and nothing else. He's done movies more successfully than fight recently.
Dan, how about Max Holloway in the center of the ring after the fight, yelling to everybody in the crowd, hey, let's do it again. Let's do number 3. Let's get that money. I mean, shit.
Well,
come on.
He also pitied Conor McGregor by saying he was a wounded dog. I didn't want to do anything to him in front of his kids. His kids were here. I didn't want to do that in front of his kids. People will pay again. People will pay again to see his next fight because that's what we've turned all of these combat sports into. When you open the door on what it is that Jake Paul has successfully done, this is what you've wrought. This game is already corrupt. It's sewage, okay? The business of this is already contaminated. Now when you just make it the famous people and you make the currency, not fighting, not merit, in the most meritorious of the sports, by the way. Not merit. If you just make it fame, this is what you get for your dollar.
I think you're personalizing this one because you're not keeping the same energy when Tyson's fighting Jake Paul. You famously were like super into that.
But Mike, that is the circus. That's not an actual fight. That was just entertainment spectacle. Yeah. That wasn't anything that's actually legislated in a way that's a legitimate sports league.
He got hurt, which is something that bodies do when you inject all sorts of stuff into it because last couple of fights that we've seen from him, his body's very clearly breaking down, and it's buyer beware. But I miss me with all that. He's the greatest UFC attraction of all time. He's not that far removed from it. He was in spectacular shape. It would have been a fun fight had he not been injured. It's embarrassing for Conor. He deserves to be taken way less seriously the next time, but miss me with like making people feel bad or ashamed. Forget, like, this is not circus-like curiosity. This is one of the GOATs of all time in the UFC again, and he looked like he was in phenomenal shape, but he might have been carrying an injury.
He has not been one of the GOATs of all time in this decade.
And yet you were right there for Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. I don't get it.
Mike,
I think it's just because of the promotion and Conor that you're keeping this energy.
Nope. Well, that's fine. You made that. Now you've made that accusation twice, as if I'm not discerning, as if I'm the fool for not paying for it. The one was a circus. The other one's a spent fighter approaching 39 who hasn't won a fight in 5 years and has had nothing but trouble, and on top of that is a rapist.
Yeah, no, he's a bad dude. He also came into this fight as the favorite.
No, that's not true.
No, he was a heavy dog.
No. The line changed. Like there was right before the fight, there was crazy line movement.
That is true. That is true. I want to talk about that, but I thought the line opened where he was like plus 400, and then I saw the graphic on the screen a little before the fight. He was plus 280. Are you telling me it moved even from that?
I hopped on DraftKings Sports, and he had like reportedly 80% of the action was on him. I hopped on the app to include Holloway in a combo later on, and by that time I was surprised, like, Holloway's minus 200 here. There was very curious line movement with this one.
Well, yeah, and to that point, Dan, there's a lot of people out there who are trying to connect dots that he had this injury in camp and that people knew he had this injury, but the fight had to go on because of all the partners and the gambling and the money involved, and that's a pretty big deal if that turns out to be true.
You'll never know because his coach, among others, says he was fine and that they have practiced all of that many times over in the lead up to this fight. Some of you are going to point out correctly that Mike Tyson is also a convicted criminal rapist as opposed to civilly. The details on Conor McGregor are brutal as it relates to that case and an assortment of other stuff that make it so that the only way that your accusation can resonate with me, Mike, on it being personal is I used to love that sport. And that, what they put on, that, the questions about whether he was hurt from the very beginning, the fact that the best they can do with their stardom is a guy who was famous 5 years ago for things done before that he hasn't fought for 5 years, and that the headliner is coming out and can't physically do anything when all you know about Conor McGregor over the last 5 years is it the steroids, is it the coke, or is it the whiskey? Which is it, because of how he's been polluting himself since he was the greatest?
I think all that stuff is super fair, so why even attempt to mask it? I think that's very clearly what's going on here, and you have every right as someone that used to love the UFC for their actions to absolutely tee off on them for how that played out. But let's just say what it is.
What it is he's 1-5 since 2017. Like stop bringing this person to me, and they're going to do it again. They're going to do it again because he sells fights well, and I've said he's the best talker since Ali. But 1-5 since 2017, when your 30s for a fighter is not your prime. Like 1-5 since 2017, you deserve to have your money taken from you. However it is, whatever you expected from that fight, you got, Brendan Tobin pointed out, you got more punches in Vegas from Bam Adebayo than you did from Conor McGregor.
That's true.
I think people are well within their rights to be upset how they played out. There's... this is all circumstantial, but people are pointing to how his entrance getting to the ring and how he took off his shoes. I think that if there's any truth to what some people are pointing out, and again, these are all conspiracy theories, and I hate that everything is a conspiracy theory, especially in a combat sport. People can get hurt. It's a pretty gnarly sport. But there are a lot of people saying something wasn't right here, pointing to the market price changes, pointing to the entrance there, pointing to how it played out. And I get that. Like, I want to make sure that these things are done on merit. A washed fighter getting hurt, considering everything that it looks like he's pumped into his body, is not that surprising to me. And I think it's buyer beware. I didn't end up watching this fight, but I don't think this is like the circus-like curiosity that maybe Dan is making it out to be. I think if he's healthy, there is sincere interest in seeing if this guy, who is allegedly saying, well, he's definitely saying he's cleaned up his image. All right, I'm interested in seeing a cleaned-up Conor McGregor, whether I believe him or not. Let's see how this plays out. You've picked this fighter that you think can give him a good fight, and let's see if there's any more money to squeeze out of this guy. One last time. Can he get us excited? Now, never going to be fooled again with this guy. I wasn't even fooled this time. I was doing other things. But I get the anger, but I think it's about just the UFC's approach as a whole rather than this one specific instance.
My favorite part of the whole UFC night was how mad Dana White got when they showed Shakur Stevenson and called him Jalen Williams. It was just so good. They show Shakur Stevenson, and apparently Dana White he spoke after this. I actually want to let him say it.
I just paid Shakur Stevenson a shitload of money, and for some reason we can't figure this celebrity shit out. They put him up as a fucking OKC NBA player. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, it's absolutely crazy. But we are the absolute worst to ever do the celebrity thing. When we put celebrities up, we are the worst. I just had this fucking debate in the back with my guys while I was screaming at everybody back there, and they said, no, soccer's worse. Soccer shows the people and they don't put up any graphics. Oh no. We put up fucking graphics and put the wrong guy's name on it. We win. We're the worst ever to fucking do it.
You know why Chris likes this, right? You know why Chris pointed this out, right? Because when you get mad at him for the mistakes he makes,
other shows don't make these mistakes. Aha! You should have seen me on Saturday night. I was like, aha!
Oh, thank God, we're UFC.
I'm enjoying the idea of a rabid nuclear shade of red, Dana White, really embarrassed. Like red because he's angry, red because he's embarrassed, yelling at his people, we're the worst, and them going, no, soccer is. That's exactly what you would do. They
don't put the names.
It would be like arguing with you. You're like, I'm not bad. Someone's worse.
I'm not here to tout FIFA, but you don't really need a nameplate for Brad Pitt.
The rage of Dana White, another reason all of that is so valuable is because they do all of their own production. They don't require any of these entities that are paying them don't have to do anything other than provide the platform. UFC is the rarest of thing where they're making all of their own content and hiring all of their own people to make the content. And so I understand why it is that he gets that upset. But when Mike Ryan accuses me of being biased here and making it personal, people who were ripped off here have a right to feel ripped off and also can't be surprised that they were ripped off given the facts that I just gave you. If you're saying that it's personal because of how mad I am at Tony for falling for this. Like, he should know better. He knows what he's dealing with there, and he's falling for the shiny object, the sparkles and stuff, just because Conor McGregor's a name.
On the live stream, Tony's reacting to them calling the fight while picking at a massive plate of grapes.
It was a bad look, and I think consumers are going to use it for data. I do. I think they'll probably be more discerning the next time they trot something out.
I don't think so.
This.
I think it's going to be the same thing. We didn't see him fight. Like, to me, this is both the worst result and the best result for Conor because he was going to get his ass kicked. I don't understand.
You think so? Yeah.
Well, I just don't understand how. Explain to me where and how the line moved, because the last time I had seen it, Holloway was minus like 300 or.
Mm-hmm. That's a bigger price than I saw, in the afternoon when I tried to get in. A professional fighter gets hurt. It happens, it's happened a lot with this guy. His body seems to be breaking down from how he's approached his life, and I think you got to be discerning there. But the whole circus and you deserve what you get, this is different, guys. This is the greatest UFC draw ever, returning, claiming that he's found a whole new life and that he has cleaned himself up and he's all about the fighting with a hand-picked opponent. I do understand the curiosity factor here. I do.
That's why, I mean, it is a huge deal if we learn that something happened in the dressing room, something happened pre-fight. That's why the line shifted like it did minutes before the fight, and they kept it under wraps. That's FBI shit.
So are we happier if a half hour before the fight it's just canceled?
No, but there's fraud that's being perpetrated there. If they know that there is an injury and they don't tell anyone. No, I'm glad the fight happened, but that's fraud.
But what Mike is saying here, and it happens. No, in my history, watching sports, a guy who's 1-5 in the last 9 years doesn't get to be the main bankable star anymore. No, not in the merit sports. It doesn't actually happen. Not 1-5 since 2017. Like, it fades. It's not merely not fighting. It's the last time we saw him fight, all he did was lose.
You don't want to see Paddy the Baddy beat the shit out of him? Because I do.
I know. Like, I tuned in, Dan, because like in the past I tuned in because, Conor McGregor, he's fun. Like, I want to watch him fight. He's awesome. I hope he wins. I tuned in on Saturday night. Like, I wanted to see him get knocked out.
This is the
that's why I was watching.
Yeah, this is the life cycle of the once great fighter that might appear to be a can and washed up. You see if you can squeeze out a little bit more money from him.
But he's a piece of shit, and I wanted to see him get knocked out.
You clearly can't trust him to main event anymore, like on a merit-based level. So now you feed him to the next guy, and he puts over the next generation. Go on your way.
Isn't the last time he fought, didn't Joe Rogan have to sit down on the mat to interview him the last
Get
time?
his leg in an
before
air
this?
cast.
All right, so let's just, I cannot wait for you guys to spend this money to watch him when they wheel out his coffin 10 years after his death to see if they can also get some money off of that.
I mean, am I still a monthly subscriber to Paramount? Because if so, I'm paying anyway. It's not that big a deal.
Yeah. The model has changed. Wow, some confetti from, what acquisition was that? Was that the DraftKings announcement confetti that just came down there? Amazing.
Always fun when that happens.
Yeah, buyer beware. It's all data. Fool me once, okay. Fool me twice. All right, you're gonna fool me 6 times because if it's on at a bar, I'm gonna watch.
I don't understand why Dana White has to lie about everything. Like, I understand.
He's a promoter.
Okay, but why would you lie about things that can be immediately checked? Like, I'm watching the broadcast, I'm watching the lead up to the fight, and Dana White is up there on the panel, and he starts talking about how excited the town is, and here he is.
Listen, this is the Conor McGregor effect. I was just telling these guys before we went on air, one of the soccer teams, the owner is in town. Him and his wife said, you know what, let's go to the fight. They said there's not a hotel room in this city. They can't even get hotel rooms.
Okay, I'm like, no effing way. And so myself, I went on to Expedia myself. I'm talking, it's 8 p.m. Can I get a room tonight in Vegas? It's 8 p.m. Dan, every hotel had availability.
You were doing journalism?
Yeah.
A promoter lied?
Okay, but like, I can prove the lie within seconds. What's the point in that kind of lie?
Well, Dana White clearly hasn't been rewarded in any way for the way he is.
Go on.
It is just crazy. I'm with Zaz on this. Like, every hotel has availability.
In my hand, I decided, let me see if this person is lying to us.
It'd be one thing if, like, a couple places had a couple. I would almost give that as a victory for Dana White. If there were only a smattering of hotels. But it's every hotel.
Every hotel had availability if I wanted to show up right now.
Did you see Patty the Batty's reaction to the news? Like, he was getting interviewed and he found out. He's like, well, guess I'm the face now. That was so great. Yeah,
I like
go.
him.
Let's have one more fight because I'll absolutely be watching that.
I like him.
I don't care. Don't stop the fight, Herb. If he gets hurt, you just let this one ride.
I don't generally like almost anything about business. And over the last 5 years, I have met a great deal of business people. And I will say that lying is almost a part of how it is business is done where there aren't laws. Like, it's not even considered an immorality in some of the places. It's just negotiating or it's just promoting. Yeah, there are some people who insist in business on being ethical. They're usually the people who get their business stolen by the others who aren't. It's just that business. If you gave me all of sports and all of sports history, who are the biggest liars? Agents are second. Those guys are first. The fighting sports, the promoters in the fighting sports are number one on my list on every syllable has to be fact-checked because they don't care how much they're lying to you. They'll just call it promotion. It's just a part of, is it surprising to you that in the age of misinformation, this particular person would say something and just drown you? Go ahead, fact check me. Go ahead, fact check me. The President of the United States is there. He drowns you with so much scandal and so many lies that you can't even keep up on the fact checks. You can't do it in the debates. You can't do it in the interviews. It's just so much. It's just such an avalanche of lies. And then he just gets up and his constituency, this is the thing about lying this way. You don't care about the people who you've lost because they think you're a liar. You care about the one you gained because they believed the lie. Like, you're just gathering more and more people by saying it's just such a huge event. Every event is the biggest event we've ever done.
The answer is I'm naive. Like, that's the only answer, right? Is that I'm naive to think that he's not just going to go on my television and blatantly lie to my face.
Here's the Patty reacting to Conor injury live.
I'll exchange with him and he'd shoot in. What's happened? Oh my God, McGregor's done already? Well, he's finished. The new boy is in town. The main man's here. Know what I mean? I can become the face of the organisation now. But, yeah, great. What a performance from me. Don't want to blow smoke up my own ass, but what a performance.
So according to the LA Times, Oglesby of the Dolphins admitted that he made up a story about being kidnapped. He said that armed men abandoned him in the Everglades, and he had to walk most of the way back to training camp. But after a police interview, they learned that he had taken Richmond Webb's car, left training camp, fell asleep at a friend's house, and then they found the friend and said car in a, quote, crime-ridden area of the city.
That's my dog. First,
not too many questions.
When you, well, I know your father's sitting right next to me. It's a little weird. Okay, so first question.
No wonder they're into swinging at that house.
Were you always able to tell them apart?
Not at the beginning when we were just dating. Her sister has like a beauty mark on her face, so I was like, mine's the one without that.
Okay. My next question is, a lot of times, you know, your wife or your girlfriend will be like, you think my sister's attractive, don't you? You clearly think her sister's attractive.
That's right. Undeniable.
If you think your wife's hot, you think her sister is hot.
My sister-in-law's hot.
That's
There, I
crazy.
said it.
Right?
I've never said that to her before.
No, you got to say that, though.
Well, you must think she's hot.
But Zaz, here's the deal. Everyone with a hot sister-in-law thinks their sister-in-law is hot. He's the only one who's allowed to say it out loud. That's the difference.
That's true. That's true.
Not like the rest of us are like, oh, my sister-in-law is terrible. Like, if you got a hot one, you're like, oh, my God, she's hot, but you just can't say it out loud.
Yeah. And are they actually different?
They're very similar in a lot of ways.
So how'd you choose?
You know, the other one was taken.
Papa Cody, wait a second now. You experience this. I mean, do you find one more charming than the other?
At the very beginning, I too had difficulty telling them apart.
But do you like, now that you've gotten to know, presumably both of them pretty well, do you think that your boy made the right choice between the two?
I have to say that. I mean, of course he did.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course he did.
Now.
I love my daughter-in-law, but they're eerily alike.
Now,
not just physically.
What I'm about to admit now is a little embarrassing.
Go on.
There are times, you know, in marriage, you know, you're going through, you're like, it's just, you know, this is.
I don't like where this is headed.
I don't either.
Where sometimes you just like, if you're trying to keep things fresh, you just imagine it's the other person.
Oh, no.
That's an unbelievable admission.
That
What's the matter with you, man?
I didn't hear
Suey.
that.
Hey, guys in the room outside, mark that down.
For
Suey
the record,
revelation.
did everybody see as one of society's great empaths? Did you see me try to get in the way? Did you see me try to dive in front of that? He refused. He went. He plowed straight ahead.
He did.
You guys never struggle, huh?
Your wife clearly does not listen to this show.
Sure doesn't.
What in hell? No
did-
worries
What
that
did you
this
just
is getting
say?
back to her.
Tony, how you feel about that admission?
Not great. Yeah, not great. Even though, admittedly, Chris says that his wife doesn't watch the show, which is good, right?
Very
so he
good.
feels like he can shoot from the hip here and not really be taken to task, like Dave said. Very good. But the issue is, sometimes some things are so flammable and so big that they peer through the veil of Chris saying, "Oh no, my wife doesn't watch a show," where she's like, "You said what?"
That was bigger than the show, man.
Bigger than the show.
Let's not clip this if we can.
That was an incredible admission.
It really
Greg,
was.
what did you make of all that?
A little bit unfortunate. I wish he hadn't said that. It could come back to haunt.
You guys never struggle.
Well, in the context of this show, you can always say, I was just kidding. Of course I was just kidding. But will she believe you?
I was.
Okay.
What is the Nick Bobic?
It's a 60s song. The name game. Nick Bobic. Banana Bofic. Me, my Momic. Nick.
Rosanna, Rosanna, Rosanna,
I'm the kind of guy that Nick. Who made it the salad? Hey, Butterfinger. Who made it the salad? Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Georgia.
That's not correct.
Very good.
It's a parrot that says very good out of the side of its mouth.
That's correct.
What does this have to do with the name game?
I'm not going to take a quiz. Nick Bobic. Who made it the salad? Me, my Momic. Let's go States. We're rolling now, huh?
That's not correct.
Doesn't make it right. But don't go showering to try to please me.
Do you like breathing hot neck on the neck of hot?
Wow.
Are you turned on? Do you like
dangling?
Breathing hot neck?
What's going on here?
Do you like
Sexy.
breathing hot neck?
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Intimate.
You have been dry humped many, many times.
Little pelvic thrust situation?
I like that.
Have you ever consoled a naked man before?
What does it feel like to get dry humped?
I saw pee-pee.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Breathing hot neck.
I've never consoled a naked man.
Many, many times.
I saw pee-pee.
People out there, stop sending me pictures of the hotel rooms with the chair, okay? Stop sending those to me.
I like that. I like that.
He was naked.
Conor McGregor's 1-5 record since 2017 in combat sports includes the last time I got this mad about the attention that Conor McGregor was getting for fighting, which is the fight against Floyd Mayweather, which was a similar type of money grab that has next to nothing to do with being good at the sport now. It has everything to do with being good at the sport once upon a time. Where are we with Tony and the Miami Heat and this camp that he is doing? As he is he going to play against the 8-year-olds?
I hope so.
One of the funniest things Peyton Manning has ever done was an assortment of videos that he made in which he was just throwing footballs at children and hitting an assortment of children. Is Tony going to start posting up 8 and 9-year-olds here? Is he doing drills against 8 and 9-year-olds? We're going to check in with Tony at the Heat's facility in just a second. But before we do that, I was delighted to see at Wimbledon something that happened. I can't believe that enough time has gone by that the following is true. Sacha Baron Cohen, many, many years ago, became internationally famous creating a character, Ali G, who was an idiot sort of hip-hop guy who would go around interviewing people, serious people.
Political people.
Serious, powerful people, not just political people, and it's an assortment of people who took themselves seriously would agree to an interview with Ali G. I'm not sure how many people know this because it was so long ago. So at one time, he was famous in England. Sacha Baron Cohen was as this character, Ali G, who crossed over with satire that was so funny, fake interviews with serious people where he was playing the straight man as an idiot character. He did so much embarrassing of important people that he could no longer do the character because they couldn't find people to be fooled by it because he was becoming too famous. And so he had to retire the character and become Sacha Baron Cohen. He's bringing back Ali G because the time has gone by and now people don't remember this entire time. A generation does not remember this character.
That's awesome.
So he can bring back the character now. And evidently what he's done after the Borat movies, he is now he's already done the Ali G movie. Like he's already done the filming for this. And this is the last stages of promotion where he's appearing at Wimbledon as the character. He's resurrecting a character from how many years ago? 20 years ago?
I was in college watching it.
Yeah. He was in the Madonna music video in the late 90s. He's already filmed this film, the Ali G comeback movie, which is why he feels comfortable letting the cat out of the bag. Hard launching himself, putting a social media video of himself as Ali G in character on social media.
And he doesn't look that different. He can pull it off. He's taken on a lot of serious roles since then. He's not just doing comedy. In fact, I'd be curious how harmed he was creatively by everything that happened with the dictator, because Ali G arrived at a level of stardom that allowed him to be a true movie star. I've told you the story before about Hank Azaria after he what is the movie that Hank Azaria did here where he...
Birdcage.
Birdcage, thank you. Yes. After that was sort of his coming out party in terms of stardom, even though he had done a lot of different roles. And he said that he would, after that, he got 3 giant movies offered to him, and that's sort of how you become a leading man, with the 3 choices you've made after you've broken out. Sacha Baron Cohen did the Borat movies and then had those 3 movies. I don't remember, but one of them was The Dictator, and then the others disappeared because Hollywood was like, never mind, we're not gonna honor our commitments, et cetera, et cetera. And so since then, he's had some serious roles and has had nothing that's broken through. It's been the last time you guys is Talladega Nights. The last time you guys saw something where Sacha Baron Cohen was being Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Has it been that long?
I don't understand being Sacha Baron Cohen. He's always playing someone else.
No, when he was in Talladega Nights, that was a starring role that he did successfully that everyone liked. Since then, his most prominent role in a film that people have been talking about is blank.
The shave of the face, the trim of the beard. There it is. Sweeney Todd, Demon Barber of Fleet
I would
Street.
never watch that movie.
Oh, he's great in it.
What about Les Miserables?
I'm not watching that either.
When is the Ali G movie supposed to come out? Because you're saying that it is.
I don't have the answer to that.
That it's completed, so it would be relatively soon. And the character was just great. I don't know how to explain it.
He did dust off Borat fairly recently and had that incredible moment with Rudy Giuliani.
The Ali G character, though, was so perfect for the time, and Zaslow is having a similar experience. I don't know how many of these you have in your life. The experience of discovery in entertainment, where you are in college and you're seeing something for the first time that's so different from anything that you've ever seen and is a bit of an inside joke for just you. We're going to have a South Beach session soon here that I really enjoyed doing with Phil Hendry because it was similar to this. For those of you who do not know who Phil Hendry is, he would do a show where he was all the characters and certain members of the
radio
audience.
show.
Yeah, he would do a radio show. Yeah, thank you, Zaz. It was not a visual show. He would do a radio show where he was all the characters. And the first few times I listened to it, I did not know that, did not understand that. And so what he was doing was, the genius of what he was doing was lost on me because I didn't realize that he was playing all of the characters, including some women. And in playing some of the characters, one of the characters would say something outrageous. And he, as Phil Hendry, would always be the straight man interviewing the character. And Phil Hendry would just do the interview as a traditional radio host, and then Phil Hendry would be saying, as the other character, outlandish stuff. And the whole point of the exercise was just to find somewhere in the audience a caller who would get upset by what the other Phil Hendry character was saying, and then to watch Phil Hendry and all his characters argue amongst each other and support the caller or yell at the caller, and it was simply genius. Discovering this was to me illuminating and inspiring, and I imagine Ali G in some respect was that to you when you were in college, and you're seeing for the first time who's this young person who clearly shouldn't be in this position because he's an idiot, and then you realize, oh, wait a minute, he's being an idiot on purpose, and he's doing it to embarrass the powerful who don't get that he's doing it on purpose.
Phil Hendry was amazing. I discovered Phil Hendry when I was in high school down here, and it was introduced to me. Like, I didn't fall for it because it was introduced to me as, yo, you're not going to believe what this guy does. This is the show. It was amazing. But yeah, Ali G was something we discovered when we were in college, and we didn't understand how he's getting these politicians, these senators and representatives, how he's getting them to actually be there with him, and the way that he would make them look stupid, it was incredible to us.
Well,
we never see anything like it.
The Ali G show on HBO introduced all these other characters, Bruno, Borat.
Right, they had little skits mixed in.
Which were the ones that resonated with American audiences most, because Ali G had his own standalone movie, but it was produced out across the pond. Because in terms of resonating with American audiences, Ali G is the one that struggled the most because to get the jokes, you have to be really familiar with English culture. So I'm surprised that it's making a comeback, but he put out a social media video on his own here. So let's see what the character is doing here in 2026.
I was here at the men's singles in Wimbledon, which actually, despite its name, ain't a party for gaylords. It's like the World Cup something called tennis, which is like a crap version of ping pong. Them say that tennis is better played on grass, which is why I intend to sell as much of it while I is here. So if you want some herbal remedies, me has got anything you want. Berkshire Kush, me got some homegrown, I is in row HC329. There ain't any brothers here, so it'll be easy to find me, innit? Respect.
Are you surprised, Zaz, that it's been long enough now that the character became so popular that he could no longer successfully prank anybody because everyone ended up seeing him coming no matter the generation? But here he is coming back, and I didn't think he could. I didn't think that character would ever get resurrected.
I love it. It's just watching that there. That's the first I've seen it, and so that's the first I've seen anything new from Ali G in like 20 years. It's like a nostalgia act that's all of a sudden back, and I could enjoy again. That's awesome. I would definitely watch that.
Tony is out at the Heat facility. He has bait and switched us. I thought he was going to be playing against professionals. Instead, he is playing against 9-year-olds. What are we doing out there, Tony? What is this camp for kids? And are you going to do a drill with somebody or what?
Yeah, Dan, it is the camp for kids, but I also think this is also a tryout for me with the brass of the coaching staff, right? Like, they're going to be able to go and tell the team. Hey,
We can't hear you. Can you speak louder, please?
Yeah, I can hear the coach. I can hear the coach pretty well.
Louder, Tony.
Okay, coach. All right, coach is trying to explain offense.
I can't hear you.
Bring the microphone closer to your mouth.
Okay, coach is trying to go through the option offense right now, teaching the kids, making sure that they understand pass and cut or pass and screen away, right? So we're working on that. I've got my team. I think one of my two teams is going to be here. I don't know if I'm going to be the Bucks or the Celtics. See, pass and screen away. Dan, you ever heard of that? Option offense, you know that or no?
Yes, but what are you doing? Like, are you going to be are you going to be participating with them?
Yes.
I'd like to get your Conor McGregor thoughts while you're doing drills with them. I don't want your Conor.
I heard a lot of yours.
I don't want your Conor McGregor thoughts.
This guy, am I right?
Before I don't want your Conor McGregor thoughts before you're doing the drill. I want during the drills. Are you going to be doing drills with them?
Yeah. Yes. So after they go through the option offense here, Dan, we're going to go through working on our shooting, our dribbling, different drills and stuff, bank shots, layups, all that. So I'll give you my Conor McGregor thoughts during that, or if you want them during the 5-on-5, I can really confuse kids by talking about Conor McGregor while I'm dribbling the basketball. So one of the two. Which one do you want?
Tony, how much would we have to give you to run out to that far hoop and and just take a layup right now?
Which one? The one behind me all the way back there?
Yeah, all the way back there. Yep.
Like you'd be running straight through the presentation,
the drill,
and you'd be running through.
He's trying to make this team. You're gonna put him in that spot in front of the staff.
I'm not putting him in that spot. Zaz is putting him in that.
How much would we have to give you? Yeah, how much?
$100. $100 I'll do right now.
$100?
Do we want to pool together $100 here?
No, I want him to make the team.
Yeah, I don't want it.
So Zaz, look at what just
the
happened. The
secondhand embarrassment.
Hold on. Look at what just happened there. Zaz tried to get Tony to do something Tony doesn't want to do. Tony's bidding price wasn't that expensive. Zaz tried to all of a sudden go socialism. Everyone pays.
Yeah.
You want him to do that? You won't give him $100?
I want him to do that because he's going to get yelled at if he does. It'd be funny.
but why wouldn't you pay for it as opposed to asking everyone else whether?
Well, I didn't try to come to work today and spend money. I'm trying to make that money.
Well, but it was your idea.
I know it's a good one
to try and entice Tony. He came in with a reasonable fee to do what it is that you wanted. I think $100 is enough.
Tony, $20 right now. Take it or leave it. I'll Venmo you right now.
No, leave it. No, leave it.
Tony, which coach are you most afraid of yelling at you if you were to do hijinks?
Coach Fiorentino right here. Who
Tony,
he's ready to go.
Tony, my boys went to that camp for years. I've seen Coach Fiorentino yell. You don't want that smoke.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like Coach Tony, I do not want any smoke with whatsoever.
All right.
Good action there by that guy. Coach, that was Coach Lucas, Dan.
All right, well,
Coach Lucas right there.
Let's put him back in picture, and we'll come back to him when he's close to doing a drill so that I could get his Conor McGregor thoughts while he's doing a drill. That's how I want to do this. Get back to us when you're ready, Tony, and we will check back in. I appreciate all of your efforts out there. The Heat Brain Trust can indeed lord over the facilities and see what he's doing, and he's trying to show them that he can indeed play, and I believe he can be dominant among these 8 and 7-year-olds. I believe that he's got a chance to post up some kids, have some size advantages, and so we will see if he ransacks some children and leaves them scarred for life with a trauma that they will wear in their body for decades.
He's learning from some good coaches out there. Assembled quite the staff. Jay Lucas, Tony Fiorentino out there.
Tommy Tig.
The news, I'm going to put that in quotes, the news that was reported that LeBron James is getting voice memos from teams. I am really enjoying the scraps of information coming out on the diluted and distorted, cheapened LeBron watch that has gone from what it was 15 years ago when we were laughing about the idea that Donnie Walsh was recruiting for the Knicks and he was showing up to LeBron's place in a wheelchair because he was not at his greatest strength. And so what the Knicks were offering back then seemed like it was mockable because Donnie Walsh was doing the recruiting and he was showing up in a wheelchair because he was in a weakened state. To go from that to the reports of the quote-unquote news, teams trying to lure LeBron with voice memos, seems like the decision has really lost some of its luster in 16 years. It doesn't mean that we still aren't interested. It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a viral thing the moment LeBron does pick his team. I find interesting that LeBron is milking this for all that it's worth. Do you believe that it's because he's undecided?
I'd like them to start this week, by the way, soliciting handwritten notes. That seems more effective than the voice. Like you have to, if you write a note by hand, that's, you're putting in some effort there.
It certainly plays to our strengths down here in Miami. I'm a little worried about all the phone technology that we have to use here with Pat.
Dan, there's no way LeBron doesn't know what he's doing right now. Get the hell out of here. I mean, this has been going on for like 3 weeks now. LeBron hasn't taken any time to sit down and decide what is he still thinking about? What is he still mulling over? He doesn't know what he wants to do. He 1,000% already knows where he's going.
I disagree. I think he's still listening to pitches. I think he's still hearing voice notes now. He may have a good idea. He may have been leaning a whole way this entire time and is letting people have the opportunity to perhaps talk him out of that. But I think it's pretty clear that he doesn't know quite yet. And I think the thing that's most clear is that nobody knows.
Nobody. That I agree with you. No one knows anything. And the funny thing is, only one person out there in the media, and the media, look, they showed their ass in the whole Giannis, Heat, Celtics, horrendous coverage. Only one person in the media is actually coming out and telling you, I don't know anything, no one knows anything, and it's Windhorst. Everyone else is, I'm hearing this. They're in the lead right now. They're the favorites. Windhorst is the only one who's being honest here and telling you the truth, which is no one knows shit.
Let's examine this for a second, though, because for those of you who do not know Brian Windhorst's history, he's been covering LeBron since he was in high school. A lot of people who are critical of Windhorst, I am not one of them, they deduct points from who he is as a credible source because they accuse him of having made his entire living off of LeBron James because he was covering him back in Akron. He would be more likely to have information than just about anybody, given how many relationships he has and how long those relationships go back. But examine with me for just a second the detail on the only reason we do know that there are voice memos is because LeBron's camp is telling you that. You're saying you think LeBron 100% has his mind made up. Mike just said it's clear to him that it's not made up. My question to both of you is, what's the voicemail that sways him? Like, what is of a voicemail that anyone could possibly send, or voice memo that anyone could possibly send, where he's like, well, I was thinking I was going to go to Cleveland, but now that I got that voice memo, now I'm thinking differently.
Perhaps it's just a test to see if Pat can do this at 80 years old. Execute a voice note, and that goes a long way. He's not even listening to see what he says. He's listening to see if he did it, and it doesn't catch him midpoint.
Pat's definitely starts with, like, how do you start this thing?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Are we rolling?
Do you think he says on it, hey, this is Pat, and then he leaves his phone number the way that we used to? You used to say who's calling, and you used to say your phone number. Usually you say your number twice, too.
Does he drop the rings on the table?
You hear that?
Let me put this on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you ever leave voice messages? Yes or no? At Le Batard Show. When calling someone, do you ever leave voicemail? Yes or no? Because I do so, but I always do so self-consciously, and I always do so announcing that I'm the only person still doing it. Like, I always say, yes, this is an old-fashioned voice message. I'm leaving you. But do you guys even check your voicemail? Put that on the poll as well.
It's all spam these
days. Put it on the poll as well at Le Batard Show. Do you even check your voicemail? Yes or no?
I delete it so fast without even listening to it. Sebastian Maniscalco does this bit, right? Where it used to be back in the day, if someone knocks on your door of your house, that's very exciting. But now, if someone knocks on the door,
you hide.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah,
It's the same.
does that?
It's the same thing with the cell phone. It used to be very exciting if someone's calling you, and now if someone's calling me, what are you doing?
Something must have gone sideways. Two guys, when I spoke to him more regularly, would always leave voice memos of voicemails, and it would always be like, "Hey, buddy, call me back." How good is that? That's the implication with a missed call.
I see you called.
It's two guys. Call me back.
Well, but wait a minute. When did this happen, and why did no one alert anyone else that there had to be a point, okay? I don't know what year this is. I don't know what time it is. It cannot be the same for everybody. It just simply can't be. There is a date somewhere in the past, and I think it's different for all of us, where I can say to you, hey, when did you stop using your phone as a phone? There has to be a date where the phone became a computer and just a computer. There has to be a date when I say to people, hey, did you realize you were no longer answering your phone ever? Or did you realize you're no longer checking your voicemail ever? That date is different for all of us? How does that work? Because we didn't all discover text messaging at the same time, but there's something, you say the Maniscalco bit about, yes, the knock on the door now. What a funny and interesting thing to have happen with very little awareness, this kind of change where we become so disconnected because we're so connected to these things that a knock on the door goes from something exciting to something you don't ever want to happen, and a voicemail goes from something you would look forward to checking because someone called you to being like, I don't need to ever check my voicemail, I have the missed call. This can't have happened to all of us at the same exact time. How is it that it happened to all of us, though? How is it that it's happened to everyone in the world where you no longer use your phone as a phone, and now when your phone rings, when your cell phone rings, I never see anyone talking on a cell phone. Like, it's never happening where people are using their phone as a phone. They're always using it as a computer. When did this happen? 10 years ago?
More than that. Yeah, more than that.
I would say after BlackBerries went out of style is when people start doing that.
Ooh, you know about that BlackBerry, Dan?
I do know about that BlackBerry. When did they? It seems like they started going out of style longer than 10 years ago. There was no announcement. It is an odd thing. We can agree that it's an odd thing that everyone is the same in this regard.
Yeah, who likes getting a phone call? It's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Get a phone call.
I kind of do. From like, oh my God, if a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a while cold calls me,
horrible.
first I'm a little worried that something has gone wrong. But then when I answer and it's like, hey, just if you're free, like, would love to catch up. That's one of the best feelings ever. I've actually been trying to make, I've been writing in my calendar, randomly assigning days after the show to call friends that I haven't talked to in a while from like my closest friend group, because I like catching up with people over the phone. I talk on the phone probably every day. Mostly more often when I don't get to talk that much here, because then there's just all these words that need to come spilling out of me, so I got to talk to somebody.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you talk on the phone to somebody every day? Yes or no? I just saw Tony's in this layup line, and the two kids before him threw it right at the bottom of the rim. Like they just got under the basket and threw it as hard as they could and hit the bottom of the rim as hard as they could.
Easy.
It's the first day, a week-long camp. Let's check back Thursday,
First off,
Friday.
they're
They'll be better.
kids.
They didn't ask for this.
Secondly, given the current cap situation, we may need contributions from them.
Yeah. Tony, it is funny seeing him visually in this line be twice as large as all of the human beings that he is dealing with. What did Kenny Atkinson say, Zaz, about the LeBron situation?
Oh, Kenny Atkinson, the coach of the Cavs, he said analytically LeBron's already on the team right now. No, he did not say that. During a Summer League game, he was on the broadcast with George Sedano and I believe Danny Green. And Kenny Atkinson, he sat down with them and just talk about the upcoming season, what they're excited about. And you tell me, Dan, is this Kenny Atkinson saying he knows something?
And then you guys know there's a little free agency thing going on right now, so you never know what that could be our real jump. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about. So that's exciting too.
As intriguing as that sound is, this reminds me more of what I saw from Sedano over the weekend, which is him sort of awkwardly dapping up someone as they walk by. Look at this form from Sedano.
Not great here.
It's not his best. I mean, if you see what happens here, there's Danny
Good
Green
dap
smooth.
from Danny Green. Oh.
Alligator arms from Sedano. Almost seems like I'm owed an apology.
You got to curl the fingers and the hand there. His problem is really just he goes in with like a straight,
just a plank of wood.
It's like a plank of wood hand. And then he kind of, the actual connection and the dap is not terrible. It's the hand straight going up that we don't like.
I will analyze that in a moment because he really did throw a limp fish in there and there wasn't a lot behind it. But I more want to analyze how quickly Jeremy took what we were talking about. Me and Zaz totally ignored it and then did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Like we were talking about Kenny Atkinson and
who cares?
And
it's a nothing sound.
We were talking about LeBron James and Kenny Atkinson, something that has at least moderate interest in the audience. And Jeremy immediately went and took it to what about my DAP compared to Sedano's DAP, which isn't in any way what we were talking about.
Not even close. Nobody would have thought, hey, I wish Jeremy would jump in and talk about the way Sedano daps.
You wanted us to show the Marcy dap. That's really what you were aiming for?
Yeah, dude, I was smooth. I was smooth and he wasn't.
No, there was nothing smooth about any of this.
There's
but
nothing
we were talking about about whether Kenny Atkinson had given America a clue as to where it is that the LeBron sweepstakes were. We were analyzing whether or not Kenny Atkinson knows something, and Jeremy just totally disregarded everything that was being talked about and decided to do his own thing.
He decided to do the Jeremy show.
Why?
Because I don't have time to talk on the phone after the show, so I got to get the words out.
Is it because it's always the Jeremy show? Like, does Jeremy always think it's the Jeremy show?
You're a little too confident today, Jeremy, if we're being honest.
Well, it's what the Today Show thinks and SportsCenter thinks, and
So
it was kind of
what
all
is
over
this?
the internet
So
yesterday.
what is this? Go ahead. What is this? You talked to some dogs?
Yeah, I did. I did talk to a dog. Jonah the dog, in fact. He had his dream day at the ballpark yesterday. It was incredible. He was a dog who looked jealous of another dog eating a hot dog. It went really viral. This was about a month ago on the Marlins broadcast, and the Marlins sent out a PSA like, we need to find this dog. Oh, my God. And then they found him. It was Jonah.
How often do they do this?
Bark at the Park?
Yeah.
Bark at the Park, it's every Monday. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/tickets.
That's it. Because I've noticed it too, Zaz. It feels like every week, and we learned it is every week.
Every week, dogs are at the park?
You get
every
two a
home
season.
Monday.
You get 2 a season. That's my rule.
I mean, I've gone once. I went a long time ago. It used to be a once-a-season thing.
And now it's every home Monday. And this dog, Jonah the dog, was at the game watching another dog eat a hot dog. And then the Marlins brought him out for his dream day. He threw out the first pitch. I got to interview him on the broadcast. And that clip went viral because I'm good at my job.
I think Bark at the Park's weird.
I'd like more evidence of that while you're doing this job.
You want me to go get the 3 Emmys or?
What? You didn't win any of them for anything you've done here.
Yeah, no, I'm good at all my other jobs, just not here. I wonder if it's the way I'm positioned.
We're all wondering why.
Okay, Tyler Hero, it's everybody else's fault.
All right.
I can punch you in the face if you'd like.
I would like, actually. I'll give you the $100 that we didn't crowdsource.
We'll see how professional Jeremy thinks that is.
I'm sure there are
All right.
DMs out there of Jeremy bad-mouthing us behind
Oh,
our back.
yeah. Come on.
Can you guys tell me whether we would have any interest in having the guest bookers go after the DM account that betrayed Tyler Hero?
I thought you were going to say the guy that got attacked by a bison.
I thought you were going to say the dog.
Okay, how about what I said, though? How about we stay on what I'm saying as opposed to what you guys want to say? Can we do that for a little while?
Yeah, but if it's
how about we do that for a little while? Can we do it for a little while? Just a little while where we're doing what it is that I want to do as opposed to what you guys want to do. Is that possible? Do you guys think it would be interesting, Zaz, to talk to that person, or would we feel skeeved out and kind of gross by the doing of that?
I think when you ask him, why did you do it? And then he says why, I don't know where we go from there. Isn't that it?
I don't know. I don't know whether people would be interested in hearing from that person or not. It is a betrayal, is it not? Because we certainly like the information, and we certainly like clucking about the results of him doing that with the information. But if I'm Tyler Hero and I have any sort of relationship with that person, I don't know whether he has any sort of relationship with that person, but I'd be just as mad at him right now as I am at Bam Adebayo for everything that happened there, because that's not a great way to start your new experience in a new city, to head there as an all-star caliber player. And for this was interesting to me, the way that this was sort of absorbed. Giannis is such a huge star that it's sort of lost that those are really good players, young players that the Heat sent over there, that because the team didn't make the playoffs, but they won more than they lost, and they had some other reasons that the losing happened other than they're all never going to be good enough. Like the Lakers with Khalil Ware, I think they really could have made him a special player if he was doing nothing but taking Doncic and Austin Reeves alley-oops all the time. Like, they need exactly what Khalil Ware is, and I just think that everyone is sleeping on the amount that the Heat had to give up, because the Heat didn't want to give up that amount, but because it was a nowhere team, they're not looking at what that haul was and being like, that's a lot of players to get for Giannis, a lot of good young players who are going to get better.
I think there is something to the gripe that the Heat have with how the national media constantly diminishes their trade packages, because what ultimately got Giannis was players that have been in the mix for these superstars plenty of times. Now, it wasn't the full lot of them, but constantly, anytime the Heat come out with these trade rumors, they kind of shit on these players. Wait a second. Jaime Jaquez was in contention for Sixth Man of the Year. Khalil Ware has shown in his career he can pop off for 20 and 20. Tyler Hero was an all-star, and I think Valanciunas has a chance to be the best one of them, and I think he was very clearly the tipping point in getting this deal done. Yeah, not enough was made about how much the Heat extended themselves in this trade, and if it doesn't end with LeBron James this offseason, they've got some work cut out ahead of them. I'm sure the team will be fine, and they're an effort team, and they'll do something at the midway point near the deadline, but, they've got a lot of holes on this roster now.
From a local perspective, that's the part that I'm afraid of, where if the Heat fall short of acquiring LeBron, I hope the Heat fan isn't too disappointed, because this offseason it's been a huge home run. Like, they made the biggest move of the offseason. They got the best player who will change teams this offseason. This has been a massive success this offseason for Miami.
But in terms of what the Bucks got, as everyone was saying that Jaylen Brown is a better offer, Tyler Hero is a formed player, and you can have your quibbles with what Tyler Hero is, and you would not be wrong in saying Tyler Hero is not nearly the player that Giannis is. But the four other players beyond the draft picks, the other players, they're not as good as they're going to be. You have not seen the best of what those players are. Those are still players who are forming, and and they're young. And while the team finished a little bit over 500 with those players, it's not with the best version of those players.
Jaquez is probably who he is because he was drafted. He was older already. But Ware is certainly going to continue growing, and Chakashunas is certainly going to continue growing.
Tony is out there. Can we go to Tony again? They're doing drills. I don't know what Tony, what is this drill that you're presently doing? What is this? What are you doing?
I know you have no idea what's going on, Dan. It's called waking up the hands. When you're doing dribbling drills, you got to wake up the hands first. Then we'll probably do some of these. We'll probably do some of these. We'll probably do some of these. It depends. So right now we're working on just waking up the hands, Dan.
You've been out there for 3 hours. Why are the hands asleep? The hands should have been awake already.
Yeah, I agree. But again, this is more of a learning situation, more so than a.
Are you waking up the hands because those kids always take a nap at 11 o'clock during the day?
Yeah, lunch is actually in 10 minutes, so I'll be joining my team. We're the 76ers, Dan.
Wait, I thought
So
you were going to be the
Bucks.
Bucks. I didn't think the 76ers.
Yeah, no,
were.
they changed it. Yeah, they changed it. We got Clippers, Lakers actually playing in the far court. We got Suns and Rockets playing here on this near court. We're the 76ers, and I want to say those are the Bucks, maybe. So we'll be playing them later on.
You're never too formed.
I'm on Coach Phoebe's team, Dan.
To not revisit the fundamentals every now and then. And I think so far,
Exactly
I've been watching picture in picture. Tony's flashing.
The fundamentals, as far as I can tell, being used by the player behind Tony is he keeps hitting himself in the forehead with the basketball. He just
why are you so bad with kids?
Why are you bullying children?
He put the basketball on his forehead and then careened out of the screen. Everyone saw what I was.
That's one of the kids if all they're good for is crying and shitting. Do that.
These are older kids. All they're good for is complaining. They've graduated beyond the crying and shitting stage, and now they just complain about everything. It's like Meadowlark employees.
Hey, man.
What do you mean?
The kid just put the ball on his forehead for some reason. I was just pointing out what it is that he was doing. Tony, you're doing excellent with all of the skills here. Zaz, would you like to revisit what I was originally talking about before we were derailed by Jeremy's self-involvement? What Kenny Atkinson said there. Does he know something the rest of us do not know? Let's play that sound again. We have not heard from Kenny Atkinson since he said that analytically they had won a series that they were swept in.
And then you guys know there's a little free agency thing going on right now, so you never know what that could be our real jump. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about. So that's exciting too.
I do think it's interesting that he so willingly mentioned that. I think if Eric Spoelstra was in front of a microphone, I don't think he acknowledges that whatsoever.
Pretty cocksure. Cocksure Kenny.
Is it because he knows something, or is it just because he's always cocksure Kenny?
Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were, and I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cody, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah! I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think...
You should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's...
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Bogart. Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
no,
what movie?
nobody said
what
that.
Movie?
It's APEC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You No, you're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's a few
That's
good
the one I
men,
bought.
and that's a few good men.
Good answer. Good answer.
And it's not, you're not man enough to know the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
It's a different movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-libbed. They
Put
kept
it on the poll
that
at
was
Le
Nicholson.
Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who
Dad
said
on a
hoo-ah
hot
in
tin
what
roof.
movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think
Yes.
he won an Oscar
Yes, he
for
won
this.
Best Actor.
Yes.
Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer. Good answer.
Put it on the
Raging
poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
Raging
No.
It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in a dolphin.
I say it all the time.
No, but it's been for 30 years. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to tell him what the movie is. Keep guessing, Greg. Keep trying to guess what the Al Pacino movie. How many Oscars has Pacino won? Because he
A Few Good Men.
you already guessed that, and we already told you that it's not A Few Good Men.
Okay.
And you're not man enough to handle the truth.
Right. Okay.
Classic line.
It's got a military theme to it. I just can't come up with a
It's
name.
not a military theme, but I think he's a former military guy.
Okay, Dad.
He was a colonel.
There you go.
Patton.
Colonel Sanders. I don't know. I'm never going to get it. I don't know movies.
Wow, it's his only Academy Award.
The
Greg doesn't know
scent
movies.
of a
Woman. See? I told you I was going to get it.
Your son had no idea where that sound
Where I
was
get it
from.
from.
This is
really?
2 generations of idiot. Pop
No.
culture idiot.
I knew it was Al Pacino.
Greg, you cannot listen
said
to
De
what you
Niro.
just did for the last 4 minutes and say that that is some sort of expertise that you're bragging about.
First of all, I speak for moviegoers in general. Al Pacino and De Niro are always interchangeable. They're always mistaken for each other. They're the same person.
De Niro could not have been the devil.
They've won the same awards. They're like the same people.
They were only in one scene together, like in their movie careers.
I know, but they're parallel lives. And you know it.
Put it on the poll. Do you often confuse De Niro and Pacino, and you know it? At Le
And you
Batard
know it.
Show.
You're going to have to wait for that one.
Exactly.
That was staggering. Even by the standards of the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody, where your son Michael asks you movie questions and you flail and fail and get them all wrong. Even by those standards, that was an amazing amount of ignorance.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's a good look for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such
Can't
great
do
advice?
this with Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man?
Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but two of the Love Doctors' marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back. Jack, I suggest you get your girl, which you'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her randy ass.
You know about that randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary, also.
I don't like. This isn't. Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't kayfabe. Kayfabe?
Kayfabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
Kayfabe, wrestling nerd here at your service.
This isn't.
Zaz could have
Thanks,
helped there.
Mike Ryan. This isn't kayfabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
So the Steelers.
Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50 catchphrases of all time. It has been a successful months-long joke. What is the controversy surrounding your catchphrase list? What is the issue?
It's big. The controversy is that based on quality demand, the catchphrase countdown has suddenly increased from a top 50 to a top 60.
What?
That's right. And it's controversial.
Of course it is. You told us it was a top 50, and we told you. We told you it was. We told you it was something you were making up as you went along, and that you weren't going to get the numbers right. And now you just changed it.
He botched it to such a degree that there are so many good ones left that we're just pushing all the current
knew that was going to happen, though. That's exactly what you were saying.
Your brain beating me.
How did this happen? What was the ruling? What did the committee get together and decide? How did it happen that it got expanded? Now, no one's going to complain about this because more catchphrases is great, but we told you this was going to happen, and we told you this was a sloppy list by you.
The others, they all learn from me.
Yeah, right.
No, I looked at all the catchphrases remaining, and there was only 14 left, but there were like 20-something good ones. So I'm like,
thank you.
Let's go.
Wait a minute. So how did you do it, though? Are there now? Is there now a new list, 50 to 60, or
no,
what are you doing?
Everything that's been said is just like what was 50 is now 60.
For all of my wife's understandable complaining about the sheer number of drunk pink people who are throwing garbage cans at each other and singing at 3 o'clock in the morning, it really has been lovely to see the amount of passion sweep through our city during what is otherwise a pretty slow time as people leave the area because it's too hot here. The Norwegian fans arrived in mass, and it was a total zoo everywhere around where it is that I live. So much of a zoo that one of the guys who is monitoring the cameras in our building says, you know what my favorite thing to do has been over the last couple of weeks? He's like, I love to watch people who come to the fountain outside of our building and splash their face with water, not realizing how many people urinated in that fountain the night before that we saw on the video cameras, because
so many people.
I mean, it's just been so much insanity just everywhere that you look. The last time there were this many black people on South Beach, there was a state of emergency and they got rid of them all. Here, this is not what is happening. These people are viewed as vastly less threatening, even though they are doing the movements of people who raped and pillaged. The Vikings famously raped and pillaged. These people are not viewed as threatening, even though all of them are drunk. But the English fans have been making fun of the Norwegian fans because the English fans do the following.
All right, I was there, actually. I was right there. They blocked the entire concourse. Let me tell you something. The English fans, and I've worked over there in the UK in soccer. I'll give you the bona fides. I've always heard about this, but I'm like, nah, they're fun. No, these English people are assholes. They are assholes. Like, straight up. The epitome of white privilege. Let me tell you something. For all their grandstanding and moralizing about the U.S., these assholes, if they were Latino or black, they would have been dragged out of the stadium because of their behavior. And it's not just blocking the concourses, one-way point of entry. No, we got to wait around here for you to sing a song about Thomas Tuchel. Yeah, I got it. All right. I got 2 beers in my hand. It's 1,000,000 degrees here. I can't squeeze past you because you got to get these shots off. Dog, from the upper deck, full cans of beer. And not even for a goal that was pulled away. A dude 2 rows behind me got clocked in the head with a full can of beer. And this was every time something positive happened, I had a head on a swivel. Because people, it's one thing to throw your drink in the air and have liquid fly. Everyone gets that. Don't go to the Azteca and pick up the worst habits that you saw there. These people were assholes. I almost got into a fight in the bathroom. I'm minding my own business at the urinal line. I go pee. I'm midstream, checking my phone. I've had a few beers.
As one does.
As one does. Some jerk's like, hey, asshole, get off your phone and pee. I'm like, you want to hold it for me, pal?
Shake it twice, you're playing with it.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry, mate. It's just our culture. I'm well familiar with your culture. You're a bunch of drunk assholes at a soccer game. I get it.
As far as threats go, you want to hold it for me, pal, is among the weakest I've ever heard.
Yeah, he stood down. Well, mate, I'm sorry.
What if he's like, yes?
Just our culture.
Yes, I do.
I'd love to. In the spirit of harmony.
Maybe over there in England, you can't do the 2 things at once.
Sports brings people together. I would like to hold it for you. The question I want to ask you, when they're singing Hey Jude, that song is how old? Is it 70 years old? Is it 60 years old? How old is Wonderwall? Is it 30 years old?
That sounds like 30. Hey Jude, he's not 70 years old. Maybe like 55.
My dad said that the last time England won, in I believe 66, it was Hey Jude had not come out yet.
Yeah, it's maybe like 55.
Yeah, it came out in 68.
Okay, so
58.
That's a lot of years. That's
that we've given you as a possible answer. Yes,
you gave me a lot of years as a possible answer, and also those songs are really old. And I do wonder about the randomness. Hey Jude, like I said, your name, your best player, or one of your best players, is Jude Bellingham, and he is his name is Jude, so I get that. Wonderwall, a little more confusing to me, even though I too like
Oasis.
I love, yes, I know it's Oasis, but yeah. I still, the song is how old exactly? Is it indeed 30 years old? Because you mentioned Thomas Tuchel, and I want to get to, he was very critical of the way the English team played, even though the English team, it looks as good as anybody. The 4 remaining teams are all giants, and Jude Bellingham isn't here for any of the criticism from his coach. I thought he cut right through it, which basically saying this quote here is basically saying, hey, our coach can bleep off.
Thomas has just been quite critical of the performance after the game. Does that show the standards that he expects, the standards you guys expect of each other, and maybe that there's more to come from the team?
Maybe, but maybe he doesn't know what it's like to play in those kind of conditions against Erling Haaland, Odegaard, Nusa, Sorloth. That's not an easy team to play against. So, I think we've tried to create a positive environment. We should continue that going into the Final Four. I can't speak highly enough for the lads. You're not going to win every game popping the ball and making 1,000 passes. Sometimes you have to win dirty, and we've done that again tonight.
How about Jude Bellingham?
He's right about the conditions. I was watching Harry Kane towards the end. As tired as I've seen a guy play the entire time. Towards the end, he literally poured everything into that performance. And they actually caught a break because it was overcast the vast majority of that match, but it was swampy.
Well, and what happened with Haaland? Like, was he hurt or was he exhausted?
What happened to Haaland was Sorloth thought everybody paid to see him. Because there was a 2v1 when Norway had a 1-0 lead that all Sarloff has to do is center the pass to a charging Erling Haaland, and Haaland scores that easy.
Do you believe Sorloth when he says he didn't see him?
How could you not see him? It's a 2v1 counter. I know he's playing out of position, but what do you do? I can't believe he came out for the second half.
It's as if he would have
crazy.
said, I didn't see a Clydesdale running down the
field.
field.
Have you not seen him?
When he's running down the field, I just love what Bellingham said there. Coach is full of it. Like, this guy's pretty hard to play against. I want to ask you guys something that's not being talked about at all, and I haven't been talking about it because every time I talk about it, people don't want to hear what I'm saying. You say the conditions. The players who were playing in Miami during the Argentina game, who were cramping toward the end of the game, and just the conditions that the Dolphins are playing. And I don't know if anyone here locally is talking about the effects of El Nino. And they're talking about a super El Nino, which means we are headed right now in this next year for unprecedented heat and flooding in our area. Our hurricane season is going to be much lighter than it usually is because our winter's going to be bad because of everything that's about to come through here from the Gulf, where we have a storm system coming through that has the ability to have some extinction level events around it, because what El Nino is going to do is something that hasn't been seen in hundreds of thousands of years. And my question to you is, how do you talk about any of this in a time where our information is being fractured and our weather systems and the amount of funding that we are doing to study the weather is being cut, and people are climate denying as it relates to the specifics of athletes are going to be playing in unprecedented heat if we keep all of this outdoors? And when Zaslow is talking about a guy getting subbed out, Norway's best player is subbing out at the end of the game because there are limits on how much the human body can give to offense and defense in that sport before even the most finely tuned of athletes who don't generally have any quit in them are saying to you, like, I just can't go beyond this level. I'm delirious. If the heat keeps getting worse and worse, we can't keep doing all of this stuff outdoors, can we? Like, it's going to be a level of inhumane to do this. None of this stuff is going to get better. It's all going to get much worse. It's all going to get hotter as we're already headed toward unprecedented things.
That's what the Lenovo match break is for.
You guys do understand that when you see what happens in Venezuela where the structures crumble and stuff, all of this stuff is going to come to sports and this little small playground that we make of things. I'm asking you seriously, though.
What did you think of the match?
What is the correct way to talk about El Nino with people who don't want to hear it? Like, what is the proper way to talk about a storm system that is coming our way that doesn't have anything in the way of precedent?
What's up, player? I mean, I have my thoughts, but I'd like to hear Jeremy's first.
Look, I know Fernando Tatis Jr. hasn't hit as many home runs as you would expect, but I think he still deserves the El Nino nickname.
I think they all need to be indoors, except for Buffalo and Lambeau.
Hey, shout out David Sampson, huh?
Yeah. Dude, I went to Philadelphia. Philadelphia was way more unbearable than the Miami match was because it was 140 degrees on the pitch. I will say, thank God for the overcast because Miami Stadium was the 5th different stadium I saw a World Cup match in by far. And I know why this is because of Copa America and the fiasco that we had with Argentina, Colombia a couple of years ago. By far the worst setup if you are a ticket holder trying to get in. I had 4 different ticket stations. I was staged in, that Walmart well across the street? That was the first staging area. And we were all herded like cattle. Like, it was bad. Bad situation. Way too hot to be doing anything. There need to be domes on everything going forward.
I'm going to throw this your way again just because I genuinely want an answer from the group on what has to happen on a field when there are heat extremities that I'm talking about that go beyond human limits. We are talking about a heat that is headed this way that will kill people, not necessarily athletes, but heat conditions that will kill. How many of them do I have to make it before the question isn't why is Haaland asking out of the game? And the question becomes, of course, how could he not ask out of the game? That the heat level and the conditions are something that not even the best of the world's athletes can withstand. They're going to start cramping because they're not heat conditions that any human being has had to play in it before.
Well, I mean, the teams, I'll try to answer your question seriously. I think the person that suffers the most throughout this, in many respects, especially if you look at some of the college campuses and their stadium situation, are the people sitting in the seats. And I know we're not doing the physical exertion, but in college football, they at least have cooling fans. They have
fans just getting blasted by the sun.
They have training staffs over there. I do think that some sports have to go well more out of their way to make the experience comfortable for fans, and that's why you're seeing the vast majority of new venues have retractable roofs because it's warmer, especially in certain parts of the country. It's insane how hot it was.
But you didn't just try to argue with a straight face that somebody with a beer in section 133 has it tougher than the guy playing in the fourth quarter of a game that he's already played 4 quarters.
No, I'm not saying that.
Physically,
but I don't have a team. I don't have a cooling jacket. I don't have cooling fans. I don't have a training staff dedicated to making sure I don't dehydrate.
I don't get unlimited water.
And I've also had 7 beers.
I'm going, in
not
fact,
just a couple.
I'm going out of my way to not. And also, I have to pay $17 for refreshments. It's a difficult situation, and it's part of it.
I mean, you see how much pretzels are these days?
I'll leave this subject alone after this, but I am serious when I say it's going to take more than one person dying on the field, correct?
You watch sports really strangely.
It's going to take more. Well, you guys just brought up. I don't know how you ignore the number of players cramping at the end of games, but if I make the heat unprecedented, if I make the conditions have no relation to anything that human beings have ever experienced before in terms of the human beings who are living now, we have to make alterations to some of the things that we're doing before we get to the point that we're all horrified because the consequence is that the athletes are collapsing.
Right, so maybe let's not complain about the hydration break. It's a uniform rule, and I understand it looks ridiculous when it's happening in Atlanta or Jerry World, but it's a tournament, and you have to have one blanket rule for everything. Otherwise, it's a competitive advantage. But FIFA had hydration breaks, and it's certainly worth it. It was worth it in Philadelphia, and certainly was worth it in the recent Miami Stadium matches.
I don't know if you saw that Jake McCarthy, speaking of things that haven't happened in 100 years, has now had inside the park homers as a leadoff man for multiple times in a season, and it hasn't happened since 1929. Does Emilio Bonifacio have the only inside the park homer that the Marlins have ever hit?
I think Kurt Abbott had one.
I don't recall. These are leadoff inside the park homers in the case of Jake McCarthy and in the case of Emilio Bonifacio. It's not the case. And I don't remember anybody for the Marlins having a leadoff inside the park homer except for Emilio Bonifacio. And off the top of my head, I just don't remember any Marlins inside the park homers. But if I ask you the most exciting play in baseball, do you think many people are voting for that?
Yeah.
Like because it's rare enough that I don't feel like many people are ever talking about inside the park homers in any way for any reason. And so I don't think that I think generally speaking, before I had brought it up, if I had just said to any fan or a baseball fan, hey, what's the most exciting play in baseball? I don't believe many are thinking of the inside the park homer just because it's so rare.
Yeah, I think most people would say play at the plate is the most exciting. You got a guy in second, base hit straight to the outfielder. It's like, oh, okay, cool, we got to play at the plate coming up. That's probably it.
Yeah, it's like you actually think of the triple before you think of the inside the park home run because of the exhilaration of that. Like I always say that the most exciting play that happens consistently is a stolen base, which is why I'm glad teams are stealing more bases. And the Marlins are at the top of the league in that. It's really exciting to watch that. But the inside the park home run is like nothing else. I did just see here that one time for the Florida Marlins, Kevin Millar had an inside the park home run, and I would really like to find video of that because, oh my God, what that must have looked like.
Dan, does this ring a bell? Kurt Abbott hitting 2 inside the park home runs just 4 days apart.
Hesop Choi.
Does that?
That was
1995.
The Hesop Troy one, I remember now. It was off the Bermuda Triangle. He hit the wall and it ricocheted in a wild direction, and he was able to make it home. I remember as soon as he said Hesop Troy, I remember that one.
I can't believe what Mike just said. That can't be true. He's making that up. You're telling me Kurt Abbott had 2 inside the park home runs inside of 4 days?
So you said inside the park home run. I'm like, I remember something with Kurt Abbott. So then I Googled it, and Google AI gave me back Kurt Abbott hit 2 inside the park home runs inside of 4 days.
That can't be true. That has to be bad information.
But dude, like you said inside the park home run, my brain went Kurt Abbott.
Is there a possibility that you're being fooled by misinformation on the internet? I feel.
Yeah, is there a possibility that Google AI is confirming what I thought about Kurt Abbott incorrectly? Yeah, positively, which is why I applied all the context. Why are people dying at games?
I've got 2 Kurt Abbott inside the home runs, inside the park home runs. One happened in August of 1995, and the next happened in May of 1997. So a little more than 4 days, but Google AI was close.
In that he had 2?
And that there were 2.
Still had 2 more than I thought he was going to have. Let's check in with Tony, who is no longer doing drills. He's now just eating lunch. It's snack time.
Oh, my favorite part of camp.
With a bunch of 9-year-olds. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Was your favorite part of camp lunchtime? It does look like delicious pizza. Tony, a grueling effort today while doing the camp. What were the highlights? And can you just generally update us on everything you were doing out there? It looks like you're done for the day.
No, we're still. Dan, this is just lunch. Like water. It does taste like water. He's right. The Gatorade.
Tell a kid to pipe down.
A good kid right here. Good is my star guard right here. This is the Tyrese Maxey to our 76ers team. I'm obviously Embiid. No, we're gonna have an incredible 5-on-5 after this. We just had a break for lunch. We did some drills. Team's looking solid. I like Coach Phoebe. I like what she's got to say. So we're keeping it respectful around here, Dan.
Do you want to give us your Conor McGregor thoughts now? You deserve to be ripped off by the way that you supported and promoted that farce.
Yeah, the $9. Oh my God, how am I ever going to live without the $9, Dan? That was the funniest part. Like I get it in a pay-per-view setting where $100 is $100, but I'm paying $9 for 9,000 hours of content. Also happens to be UFC once a month on a Saturday. Like, yeah, I'll get ripped off $9 when he tears his ACL on the first kick. Okay, I mean, it is what it is, right? I feel bad for Max Holloway. This was his biggest paid fight. He's a dog. He wanted to go in there and put on a show for the fans. I didn't really like the way he sounded, saying for the trilogy, get this money. I thought that was a little bit of, poor form. Patty the Batty is an absolute superstar. I'm kind of turning on him because I used to not like him. Now I think I do like him. It was a
She's
fun
in
night
your
of fights,
shots.
Dan.
That girl's in your shot now.
Not a lot of respect for your shot there. What is her name there who just got in the middle of your shot there? Is she
It's okay. We don't have to say her name,
How are
Tony.
you so bad with kids?
It's crazy. Obviously, that's why I've been. She's my now my Jaylen Brown, because Paul George is no longer on the team, so it's more of my Jaylen Brown going forward now with the Sixers. But we got a good team. How do you like our chances on the 5-on-5? 100% win. Wow, I love that. That's why this guy's Tyrese Maxey.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate your thoughts out there. Enjoy the pizza. I am jealous of everything you're experiencing right now. Thank you for being on with us. Thank you for all your hard work from the Heat's 7 and 9-year-old camp.
It's like Billy Madison.
Juju Gotti is going to join us here in a moment, but let's get to that Bison video that Jeremy and Chris can't shut up about before we go to Juju. And I should tell you, Mike Ryan and Hercules Gomez are going to be breaking down all things World Cup, all things soccer, as now the real fun begins, because you really do have 4 giants, like just no surprises, just 4 giants and giant stars. Like it's just absurd. You don't. Of the remaining teams, you're not going to be surprised if any of them win. You're going to be disappointed that any of them don't advance, because these are the big countries at the end, the countries that tend to win this thing. And so I look forward to our morally abhorrent coverage in the postgame with Mike Ryan and Hercules Gomez.
Mike, only 8 countries have ever won the World Cup. Is it a good thing that, only 8 countries have ever won?
I mean, we've recently had new winners with Spain, and I mean, France only won their first in 1998.
No one from Africa, no one from North America.
It'll happen in our lifetimes, but yeah, it's a very difficult club to get in. It's pretty exclusive.
The margin for winning is so thin that it is surprising that no one sneaks past Argentina. Like Argentina last 3 games, a bounce goes differently. They could have been eliminated in any of the last 3 games very easily, and you would have a surprise, but instead you get Lionel Messi. And I do understand all the complaints. It's not even, Zaz, it's really not even that the teams that they're playing against get suspect calls. It's that Argentina commits plenty of fouls and never gets any yellows. Like they don't get penalized for much of anything in a way that's a little bit weird.
So you think it's cheating?
I just think it's weird. I don't know whether it's cheating. I wouldn't accuse anybody of cheating without proof. Like, I'm not going to do that, but it is. I understand how other people who care this emotionally about something like this do find that suspicious, because it never happens to them. And they've had 3 straight games, 3 of them. It doesn't mean that they're not doing wonderful things in the 3 straight games, but they've had 3 where you could say, yeah, they could have lost that very easily and maybe should have. Let's go out to Juju here before we do morally abhorrent things around here in the postgame. Juju, welcome. Thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it. We'll get to the polls here with you in a second. But before we do that, do we have any jokers of the weekend, sir?
Yes, sir, man. We got some jokers around America. Starting with us, brother. I'm going to point the finger inward at us Americans. Piles of garbage from Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding are being sold for $25 to $100, and they have sold out of all the damn bags. Ain't that a dang boy? Wake up, America. God, don't start the rapture this time, please. Not yet, big bro. Let's talk to each other. We are the jokers of the weekend. Stop buying these folks trash. Back to you, Dan.
Chris Cody, I think I just saw him mouth, that's cheap.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying, I'm with Juju that this is sad that we're doing this, but if you would have said to me on the front end, how much would these go for? I would have thought like $500 to $1,000. This is crazy. $25.
So you think that's good value?
I mean, for $25 just to be curious, like, oh, what do we got here? And it's trash.
Somebody's DNA. I don't like this.
For $9, you could have gotten the trash that was Conor McGregor this weekend.
Hello.
Let's update the polls here before we get to this Bison video. Juju, have you seen this Bison video? Because they won't shut up about the Bison video, and they're telling me I'm going to love the Bison video, even though I don't know anything about the Bison video except that there's an old man. All I know is there's an old man involved and there's a bison involved.
Yes, sir. Terrifying. Very terrifying. But the only question I got when I leave watching that video is Jarvis Landry or Ryan Fitzpatrick?
It's the question everyone's asking.
Yeah. All right. We waited way long to play this video, and I could tell. I asked Dan in his headphones, you haven't seen this video, have you? Because we haven't played it yet. Dan, if you had seen this video over the weekend, it's where we start. And I say that knowing that Bam punched Tyler. Let's play the bison video for Dan and get his honest reaction.
And for the audio audience, this is Yellowstone Park. This is a grandpa.
They've seen it.
65 years old.
Everyone has seen this
video. And his
video.
grandson.
Yep.
At the park standing what looks like, 40 feet away, 50 feet away, and they have their phones out. They're like, oh, this is cool. Look, a bison. And then the bison starts getting annoyed. He's like, I don't like what they're doing over there. I need to act tough. So I'm going to start running. And I actually think right here,
Rolling around.
Grandpa does a good move right here. Because everyone's criticizing this grandpa. He clearly says, hey, grandchild, get away. I will take this. Because all of a sudden, you don't see, starting about right here in the video, you don't see the kid anymore. The kid has made it away safely. But now, grandpa is on the run.
And he's running around a set of trees. He's hiding from the bison. You can see the bison just shaking trees right now. And he's chasing after him again. And now the bison rounds around the tree. And then, oh, here comes the grandpa. You can see the grandpa, but there's the bison. And, oh, he got 10 feet in the air.
He went 8 feet up into the air, feet at the highest point.
Head over heels.
Head over heels.
However cartoonishly you think he flew into the air, it's more cartoonish than that.
It's like Looney Tunes.
We have a still shot here for the people.
It's almost impossible.
Now, this guy is okay. He's been joking about this since. He did break some bones, but he has joked about this, and he did survive.
Let's try and get him on.
As I suggested earlier.
That is terrifying. Everything you guys just showed me there is, I cannot imagine the level of fear as that grandfather, who probably hasn't had to move like that in a while, got launched in the air in a...
But can we give it up to him? Because it does seem that there was a moment there of like, you get away, I got this.
All right, so Jarvis Landry or Ryan Fitzpatrick?
I'm not kidding you guys.
So you can see it's a newer jersey. That implies Landry.
When I see that old man in the air at that angle, it is the opposite of the Jumpman logo. It is the closest thing I have ever seen in humanity to the opposite of what is youth, athleticism, and grace. That is an unbelievable still photo of that man. That
hero.
That grandpa, you said he's fine, just a few broken bones. At that age, old people die after after a broken hip. That was a flight that man took and landed from, that he fell from about it's the equivalent of falling from a 2-story building, is it not, given how high he got thrown up in the air? And I have 1,000 questions for this old man. And one of them would be, do you know where Amin Al-Hassan is? Juju, let's update the polls now. Where's Amin? Every Monday we do the same thing with Amin in this hour. Where's Amin? Call the old man up and ask him where Amin Al-Hassan is. Let's update the polls, Juju. What do you have for us?
And ironically, he looks like Amin when he fell off of the Ninja Warrior logo.
That's a great
t-shirts
shot.
And everything. He looked just like my boy. Salute, man. If he were trying to be annoying, should Tyler Hero press charges? 84% of the audience says yes, he should.
How great would that be, Juju, if the next report on this story was Tyler Hero has decided to press charges?
I'd be like, yep, that sounds about right in America. Is Wonderwall for the English what Sweet Caroline is for Americans? 92% of the audience says, yes, it is. Do you ever leave voicemails? 59% of the audience says, no, they do not. Damn. Do you ever check your voicemail? 60% of the audience says, yes, they do. Do you talk on the phone to someone every single day? 60% of the audience says no, they don't. Damn. I'm with you, Jeremy. I like talking on the phone. I think that's why all my friends have evaporated, because I'm a yapper.
We should talk on the phone, Juju.
Not the best.
That's a good idea. And last poll, was your favorite part of camp lunchtime? 67% of the audience says yes, and those are your polls.
So the man who was launched into the air is 65 years old. While Chris Cody, through a giggle, said he's fine, he underwent surgery and remains hospitalized. So
He has joked about it, and I saw multiple posts.
He's fine. Hey, did I misrepresent what you said?
You were like, but
That voice is no. That was not you. No, what I said is
what Chris said was
you said he was okay. That is what you said. I was repeating a fact. That is what you said. And then I said he's had surgery.
He's not dead.
And been hospitalized. That's correct.
He's made jokes about it.
Not dead is different than okay. Not dead. You said
he broke some bones. He has joked about it, and he's not dead.
So if
That's all I
someone's
said.
bleeding out and they made a joke, it's like open season for you then?
No, if you see that still photo of that person, what's okay? I think okay is not dead.
Just continuing what it is that is factual here. Chris Cody said, please put up again the still of how high that poor old man was in the air. Again. Look, let me just explain something to you real quick, okay? Before this photo and video was taken, the seconds before were the worst moments of that old man's life, okay?
Goes out a hero, though, if he does go out this way.
The moments right before this video of this man being launched, what are we going to say? Zaz, 20 feet in the air? 30 feet in the air?
Yeah.
Chris Cody has said he is okay. These are the facts of the matter after the fact. He underwent surgery. He remains hospitalized. And the guy who took the video told NBC News that he stayed in touch with the family. Quote, it sounds like he has a broken leg in several places. The doctor said he'd probably recover, but it's going to be a long recovery.
Zagak. By the way, ABC reporting it's only 8 feet in the air.
When do you think the guy who took the video shows it to him? Like, yo, this shit came out awesome. Like, when does he show it to the guy?
I don't even think he shows it to the guy. I mean, I don't think they're together, the person recording this.
There is no way that that's 8 feet in the air, okay? There's just simply, that's not.
You look at the car behind him, he doesn't seem to be that elevated past the top of the vehicle behind him.
It's like 8 feet after he went 10 feet.
There is simply no way that is simply 8 feet in the air, and getting your leg broken in several places seems like it would be pretty damn horrible. And I will say again, the moments before that we're laughing at, truly horrifying. The idea that bison, I don't know how much, maybe it is 8. Is it 8 feet?
I mean,
Can it be?
The top, his feet definitely go higher than 8 feet.
His foot is so much higher than 8 feet. I don't want to hear that again.
But here's the thing. He is upside down, and his head might be at 8 feet, but his feet are at 15 feet. Like, that's the problem with how horrifying
so
this
he's 7
video
foot tall. Got it.
is. And video has now found the video of Amin falling down in Ninja Warrior.
And flipped him around a little.
Thank you, Juju. Appreciate the time, sir. Appreciate the poll updates as well. Thank you. Where is Amin El-Hassan? Is that the only Amin that I'm going to get in this hour that we have both sponsored and reserved for Amin to come on and do his World Cup observations? Do we believe that he's overslept? Is that what we're going to guess as we can't find Amin?
I just got told in my ear he's been kidnapped.
Amin is sending word through Alfred Oglesby's people that he has been abducted and couldn't show up.
I think Vegas might have gotten to him.
Oh, that's what's happened.
Summer League.
Yeah,
kidnapped in Vegas.
Wait a minute. That's what's happened. Yeah, he was kidnapped by a bottle of liquor. What's happened
I'm
is...
sure whatever happened, Amin won't be defensive about it.
But that's... Okay, so it's Vegas, and so it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and God knows what Amin was doing. Okay, I forgot that's where he was. I would have liked to have talked to him about what happened. I'm sure he has some interesting thoughts on what people are saying about Bam Adebayo punching Tyler Hero. For all that we talked about this, one of the things that we didn't talk about is it's pretty out of character for Bam. Like, just by leaps and bounds, weirdly out of character from Bam Adebayo.
And has he earned the benefit of the doubt is, I think, the point Jeremy was trying to make earlier.
Well, I think I think there's something to that. When Mark Fletcher punched that guy, I was the first one to say, like, something must have happened, and it turned out he did. He said something about a dead parent. Now, I think this is a little bit different, and yes, it could have been something really bad that we don't have knowledge of, or it could have just been, it's Tyler Hero.
I don't know if you guys have heard me say before, but when you're trying to apply logic to things, that's not how rage works. The very idea of rage is, yeah, that's not logical. But all of us, even understanding that sports are competitive, all of us are surprised when it's Bam, correct?
That Bison has some rage, Dan.
He did.
He was pretty upset.
It has to be Jarvis Landry because they weren't just actively selling Fitzpatrick. He was the backup quarterback.
He saved his grandchild's life.
How about Jude Bellington?
The semifinals are set. For the first time, I think, in World Cup history, the top 4 seeds have made it to the semifinals, just like FIFA wanted. A lot of people are running crazy with conspiracy theories. I don't know how you rig that second goal for Argentina, but we will get into the Argentina discourse. We will preview these semifinals, and we will talk about the path that got us here with our good friend Herculez Gomez. Herculez is doing tremendous work. You've seen him a lot more around ESPN, which is a good thing. I think he's one of the few soccer analysts that shine because he can talk about several things. So, Herc, welcome back to the show. Treetop View here. These semifinals, as gigantic as you could possibly anticipate. How pumped are you for this? And is this good for the game? Because I tend to think it is.
Mike, I appreciate the kind words. Yes, it's great for the game. Listen, you mentioned like FIFA wanted. It's how FIFA designed it. The design in this tournament was the top 4 teams in the rankings could not meet each other until the semifinals if they advanced first place out of their respective groups. That happened by design, the same way you see in a lot of different sports. The seeds get the road that is not easiest, but the way they wanted to. So by design, this is a great thing. First time in World Cup history, you get all top 4 seeds in a semifinal. It's the teams that many of us wanted to see, the stars that many of us wanted to see shine, that are shining here in the United States. 2026, this World Cup, all we kept hearing about, Mike, was it's going to be terrible. These stadiums aren't going to be full. The ticket prices are crazy. The hosting ability, or maybe lack thereof, of the United States, of Mexico, of Canada. And it's been great. Kylian Mbappe is shining. Harry Kane is shining. Erling Haaland is stormed onto the scene for Americans to discover. Every star possible has shined in this World Cup.
So let's talk about the path that got us here before we preview these semifinals. I thought the quarterfinals were tremendous. Every game was pretty much interesting outside of France, Morocco, and even in that first half, it was cagey. But for all the talk of FIFA got what they wanted and some people suggesting that there was rigging, there was a tough path to get to these semifinals. It might have been chalky, but it wasn't easy getting there. There were a lot of compelling quarterfinals. What'd you make of the test that England took specifically from Norway? Because that was a battle, had to come back from that. There's all sorts of controversy surrounding a cable wire, and if that goal should have been taken off. Herculez, specific to that cable, isn't there tracking data on this ball? Wouldn't we know that? I don't understand. That's the kind of stuff that is suspicious and gives credence to some of these conspiracy theories, no?
Yeah, the problem is FIFA wants us to trust them. They want us to trust the technology that they've established and invested in. But we don't feel good about trusting FIFA. That's a reality here. We do not feel good about trusting FIFA. The technology, imagine an earthquake, a Richter scale. Was there an earthquake? There's the Richter scale, it goes off. It's good enough to tell us that a hair follicle was touched in the Portugal-Croatia game. But all of a sudden they're saying, no touch here, but our eyes are telling us something different. They're asking us not to believe what we see, and that is difficult. That is hard, because the more and more I look at that play, and I wasn't in the stadium, but the more and more I think it touched the cable. If it touches the referee, you stop play. If a pigeon comes in a la Randy Johnson and gets struck by a ball, you stop play. This hit the cable. It should have been stopped. And one could argue, well, listen, you got to play to the whistle if you're Norway. The rules are the rules. And if Norway doesn't go into that game level, heading into halftime, if they're up 1-0, it's massive momentum for them. It shoulda, coulda, woulda, all these different things, but the game would and could have been different. This is embarrassing. FIFA is to this point of this distrust because of their own doing and nobody else's.
Yeah, this is where the Balogun thing rears its ugly head. When you do something unprecedented for Flo Balogun and bend the rules, when, by the way, it was reported they couldn't do this. You know why? Because a FIFA spokesperson came out and told assembled media that Balogun's red card could not be rescinded. That was an official from FIFA that said that, and then they bent the rules for him. So once you did that, you opened up the floodgates to all sorts of controversy and conspiracy theories gaining traction once you have shown that you're willing to do something unprecedented. And now we're seeing it play out on social media. Anytime there is anything controversial, everyone goes to game is rigged. And this isn't just like the outskirts of the internet. These aren't just the wayward Reddit posts and conspiracy theorists. It's credible people, big-time fans, lifelong fans that are suggesting these sort of things. You mentioned the score line going into half. Norway should have gone up by 2. Sorloth, yes or no, if Sorloth simply plays a square ball to Erling Haaland, I'm not even giving you the result of the goal. If he simply plays a square ball to Erling Haaland, who is charging into that box on a 2v1, is Norway in the semifinal?
Quite possibly. That's a big hole for England to dig themselves out of. Mike, I've heard so many things about John Stones' positioning. He did very well to cut off the angle. Any player in that situation, cut the ball back, give yourself an angle, and you play to Erling Haaland. Let him do the rest. Let him take care of the rest. He's one of the world's best goal scorers. I don't want to blame Alexander Sorloth. He is a center forward playing as a winger. You don't want him running with the ball. You don't want him on point. You want him finishing off a play. It's on the coach for putting him in there, but once you're in that position, help yourself out. Give it to Erling Haaland. He did not, and we could make a credible case to, if you're up 2-0 against the English national team, they chase the game more, and you pick them apart. You absolutely pick them apart, and it's Norway, not England, in a semifinal. It's Norway making history, not England looking to bring it home. It's that easy. The margins are so slim at this level. That was a massive momentum swing for the Norwegian national team.
An overthink from the manager putting Sorloth out there on the wings. Sorloth said he didn't see Haaland, which you're more likely to believe just because he's playing out of position. I don't know how you don't see a 6'5" Viking with blazing speed. It's Erling Haaland. That team looks for him all the time. He just thought it was Sorloth time, playing out of position. I thought it was an overthink, not putting Noosa out there. Bob has been good for them. Yep. It's such a crazy thing to do to your lineup. And after he makes that mistake, I can't believe he came out for that second half. That was egregious, Herc.
Yeah. And look at the other side. Madueke wasn't doing very well for England. Thomas Tuchel said, I've seen enough. And he didn't come back for the second half. You've got to make big decisions. They did not. I'm sure Alexander Sorloth would love that playback and would love to give it to Erling Haaland. But you don't get these do-overs in international football, not at this level. And that could have been the difference. And it's very unfair to blame it all on Alexander Sorloth. But goals change games. It's very simple. But they do. And if in that moment you put the dagger into England, and you see what the English national team is right now, there seems to be some cracks, in that system. There seems to be a little bit of turmoil within that locker room. You could have really just twisted that knife, and they didn't. So it was a moment lost in time that he will never get back.
Well, let's talk about what you just referenced there. Now, I've seen some people on the internet theorize, well, this journalist was out of line for asking a leading question. I think they're just looking to point the blame on somebody else that isn't associated with the team. Thomas Tuchel is a German, and I think what happened there was maybe lost in a little German translation, but Jude Bellingham, if anybody on that team outside of Harry Kane, has the chutzpah and the bona fides to be able to buck up against what Thomas Tuchel said. It was Jude Bellingham. Thomas Tuchel questioned the effort, said that England didn't play their best game. Jude Bellingham bounced back, snapped back live in front of a microphone during post-match availability, saying he doesn't know what it's like to play in these conditions, which I think is fair as someone that was in attendance. It was very swampy out there. Or what's it like to play against the likes of Haaland and Odegaard? Easy. I mean, Thomas Tuchel has won a Champions League. What'd you make of Jude Bellingham picking that moment, to be honest? Because I didn't think what Thomas Tuchel did was that out of line. It's a motivational thing that Thomas is known for.
Oh, I tell you what, that's the type of thing that you keep in-house. Both of them. And they're both right. Thomas Tuchel is right in what he says. The quality wasn't there from England. The mentality was there. The fight was there, but the quality was not there. But that's something you say to your team in the locker room. Boys, congratulations, we advanced. But if we play like this next round, we're going home. It's not coming home. We are going home. But he didn't do that. He told the world. So Jude Bellingham, who's a competitor, the ultimate competitor, who just scored 2 goals in this game and is coming off a literal on-field war in Mexico in Estadio Azteca, where they left everything out on the field, is saying, hold on a second. This guy doesn't know what it's like to be on the field, because Thomas Tuchel, at age 25, retired from football. He got to Bundesliga too. So while he's a great coach, he doesn't know what it's like to be on the field. Not that you need to, But it seems like there was a shot taken from Thomas Tuchel to his boys, and Jude wasn't there for it. This is the type of thing, and you know how the English press works. They are going to feed off of this for a while. And if they don't advance, if there is a big moment that doesn't go their way against Argentina, the narrative will be this team imploded. That's the way football works around the world, and 10 times over in England. The press is going to eat them up. So on all accounts, this should have been kept in-house. It's great for us. We work in the press. It's great for the fan base because a lot of them think, hey, it's emotion, they care, et cetera, et cetera. It's bad in a team dynamic.
It's unfortunate you speak to that team dynamic because prior to that quote from Thomas Tuchel and Jude Bellingham is a great story for Thomas Tuchel to tell. There were newspaper articles suggesting leave Jude at home. He's not good enough to make the national team because he's struggling on form at Real Madrid. And Thomas Tuchel stuck with Jude Bellingham, and it's paid off immense dividends right now. So it's unfortunate that this is happening for them, though because of the reason I just cited, I think they can bridge that gap. For me, Jude Bellingham has been the player of this tournament so far. Not just because of the goal contributions, not just because of how clutch he has been, but his ability to track back defensively has been the best out of any of the other players in this tournament that are in that mix, outside of maybe Erling Haaland, who shocked me with how he cleared 2 balls off the line and his ability to run back. That wasn't there so much in the conditions at Miami Stadium. Truthfully, it wasn't there as much as it had been for Jude Bellingham, who's played a lot of soccer here recently in this tournament. Who has been the best player of this tournament for you? Who do you think is getting golden ball if you had to call it right now?
Kylian Mbappe. I really think in real time we are witnessing the greatest World Cup player that's ever going to play the game. He's got a realistic opportunity of winning his second World Cup at the age of 27. He's already, if they go to the final, if they're fortunate enough to beat Spain, we're talking about a player who's going to play in 3 World Cup finals. That's putting him in uncharted territory, very rare air, I should say. That's Pelé air. Pelé is referred to as the best player that's ever lived, arguably with Diego Armando Maradona and to me, Lionel Messi. But the one thing that he was known for was World Cups. He played his whole career pretty much in South America and a few stints here or there, but never had a European career. It's the World Cup that put him on that map. Mbappe is there. He's got 8 goals right now. He's got a total of 20 World Cup goals. He's 27 years old. If we go by the graph that is the GOAT, the greatness, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo of this generation, they played 6 World Cups. He'll have 3 more World Cups. He's going to have all the records, Mike. He's going to have everything. It's insane. And he doesn't look like he's slowing down. For all the trouble he had in club the last 2 years, at Real Madrid or at Paris Saint-Germain, we couldn't win the Champions League. And it seems to be the finger pointed at Kylian. It's Kylian's fault. It's Kylian's fault. It's Kylian's fault. He is the reason France are in this position. He's the best player I've seen in this tournament. And this tournament's had a lot of good players. And I do not want to be unfair to Messi, but he's on a different level right now.
I do agree with Mbappe. He's a solid pick. Not doing the defensive work as much, but he does reach a next gear when he puts on that national team shirt. I think the fire that he plays with, the ability to mix it up, I'm sure Jose Mourinho is going to be tapping into that, no doubt, at Real Madrid next season. Let's turn our attention to Argentina, subject to many conspiracy theories out there. I don't know how you rigged that second goal. I think it was a boneheaded mistake. I'm here to entertain what the internet says about Argentina. I get it. Some of the stuff is suspicious. The one that really sticks out to me was the Netherlands-Argentina match from a previous World Cup. But that was boneheaded when you're on a yellow already. And I know that there's a discourse here, Herc, about VAR overstepping its bounds. That wasn't what it was intended for. But to me, the blame goes to Switzerland and the decision to do that. I don't think it's an overreach by VAR. What was your take on the matter?
I agree with you, Mike. Mbolo made a boneheaded decision there. You're sitting on a yellow. You have to be careful. He takes a blatant dive. This is no different than Miguel Almirón taking a dive with Tim Ream in the opening match, U.S. men's national team versus Paraguay. And I think what confuses people here is that it's being viewed under the term of mistaken identity. And that confuses people. They're like, you can't do that. It's not mistaken identity. Well, the mistaken identity falls into that they carded Paredes. Paredes wasn't the player who's supposed to be carded there. It wasn't a foul. So they removed that card and gave a second yellow, which red cards are viewable under VAR, to Embolo. They were all over Argentina. There was one team in this game in the second half, and it was Switzerland. They could have been in a semifinal for the first time in their history, and Embolo made a lapse of judgment, got the second yellow, and he's gone. We can talk about conspiracy theories, and I'm here for it. It's fine. FIFA has earned this. But not here. Not in this play. This was the right call. Right process and right call. Now, Argentina versus Egypt, there's a gripe. Argentina versus Algeria, there's a gripe. Argentina versus Australia, there's a gripe as well. But not here. Not in this one.
100%. I agree. All right. Huge semifinals. Massive. Top 4 teams in the world. Spain hadn't conceded until Belgium, and I was really impressed with Belgium and Rudy Garcia. I thought they were at the end of their run, and clearly, generationally, they were, but they got better as that tournament progressed. The ability to rally from that deficit against Senegal, they were really strong to end this tournament, end up putting one in the back of the net against Spain, something that no one else had been able to say. Defensively stout. Lamine Yamal just turned 19 years old today, has not played particularly well so far in this tournament outside of the Saudi Arabia match. What do you make of this match? I think it's going to be a cagey affair, but France has shown you, Herc, over these last few World Cup tournaments, they can beat you any style.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be cagey, if I'm being honest. I think I'm taking the over on this one, Mike.
Really?
You've got the team in Spain that may be known defensively right now as the best defensive team, but they're the team that's performed better when it comes to expected goals. That means they're closer to scoring a goal than anybody else. And they've not gone in. They've constantly knocked on that door. Lamine Yamal, the 19-year-old teenage phenom, he's got 1 goal in this tournament, but he's got top 3 shots on goal in this tournament. So he's constantly knocking on that door. He's the best player in 1v1 situations in this tournament. It's not my opinion. Those are statistics. This team constantly puts you under pressure offensively, which is why they're so good defensively. They keep the ball so much. But on the other side, you've got a French national team that nobody's been able to stop. Some teams have been barely able to slow them down somewhat. If you manage to slow down Kylian Mbappe, can you slow down Michael Olise, who's the best playmaker in this tournament? If you do that, can you slow down Desiree Doué or Barcola on the other side? What about Dembele, who's the current Ballon d'Or best player of the year right now? There's so much going for them, and I really feel, Mike, that the way that Spain play with that high line, if for whatever reason there's an early goal here for France, this could get ugly. If they are forced to chase the game, they're going to allow those spaces in behind, and France is going to overwhelm. That said, Spain is very good with the ball. They can definitely hurt the French national team and beat them, absolutely. But Lamine's got to come out. He's not shined. We spoke about the likes of Kylian Mbappe. We spoke about the likes of Erling Haaland. We mentioned Harry Kane. We mentioned Jude Bellingham, Dembele. Those are the stars. They've come out. Lamine Yamal has not come out. And Lamine is the guy that everybody would have bet on. I bet on him before his injury to be the player of this tournament, and he's sitting on 1 goal. He needs to come out and needs to perform if Spain is to do something against France.
I don't think he's even been the young player of the tournament for his national team, as they got a dynamite center back there that's also 19 years old. But you mentioned some very interesting data that I hadn't considered, that this is an opportunity for Lamine Yamal to ascend to the mean. The narrative around Lamine so far is that he hasn't been good. And while the counting stats aren't there, the take-ons, that's certainly encouraging. This is an opportunity for Spain as a collective and for Lamine Yamal individually to ascend to the mean and to have some of those breaks go their way.
Yeah. Think about the last time we saw this team as European champions, what they were. 2 very exciting players on the wings. Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams. Both haven't been healthy in the last 6-7 months. That's a reality. Nico Williams fell off a cliff. He's not been the same player. Lamine Yamal has been up and down. That hernia really did him in. He's not been the same player. But if they explode, this team controls the midfield unlike any other team that I've ever seen. Rodri is as good as they get, but he started off not great this tournament and has been building up. Pedri right now, we don't even know if he's a starter. We don't know if Pedri's a starter on this team. It could be Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz comes into the game, scores a goal. Luis de la Fuente, the head coach of the Spanish national team, he's been Every single button he's pressed, he's hit. Substitutions, replacements, he's gotten it right. But if Pedri's not on the field, if Rodri's not on his game, if that motor's not there, you're allowing the French national team to dictate pace. You've got to take the ball away from them. The problem is, out of the two teams, who feels comfortable without having the ball? France. France. They have a plan B. I don't think the Spanish national team has a plan B, and that's the difference here. Can they hurt the French national team? Absolutely. They got quality all over the field. But this one could get ugly. And I say it in the sense of how gameplay goes. If they are forced to chase the game because they are looking for a goal, France can pick them apart in transition.
Well, you mentioned some of the things that they can do with the team selection. I like Fabian Ruiz, and it's not just a surname thing. I think he's a big match player, and I was confused at what I saw earlier on in the tournament. Not at all surprised that he rose to the occasion in his last match. He is pretty consistent with that respect. Marino's been dynamite off the bench. Do you change how you use him? Because we saw with Germany, they had a really great player that worked really well off the bench, and then they started him. You didn't get the same kind of impact. Right. Do you keep the Marino thing in the back pocket, or do you start him because he deserves it, clearly?
No, it's so difficult. There's a danger to being typecast as the super sub, that you're always going to be the super sub. But at this point for Marino, that's his best bet. I don't know if you've seen the GIF. There's this kid riding a bicycle, and then somebody crosses the ball, and he heads it in while he's on his bike.
Yeah.
That's Merino. That's him. That's who he is. Right now, he doesn't miss. I don't move that. And I trust Luis de la Fuente. He's been pressing the right buttons here, man. Like this team was heavily criticized in the group phase, and then you look at the underlying stats of expected goals, of take-ons, of shots on goal, shots on target, all these different things of possession. And this team, for as defensive as an idea that we have about them, is very offensive. They are very foot forward, but that foot forward for them is because of who they have starting and who they have coming off the bench, who keeps you on your heels if you're a defensive team. I don't move it. I think Merino's a fabulous footballer, but I think Luis de la Fuente has gotten it right here.
It's uncommon when two nations have so much history despite not playing on the same continent. And that's what we have internationally, geopolitically. Argentina versus England, one of the game's great international rivalries that exist on separate continents. I think once I saw England go to the Azteca, once they had their medal tested against DR Congo and the way that they came back, I was like, yes, that's the best possible thing that could have happened to this team going into Azteca. Then they survived Azteca. Entire book on this team was they lack the intestinal fortitude. Huge gut check. Great heart displayed. They've been tested every match, and I think that experience in Azteca helps fuel them here. I anticipate England going through. I'm in the minority because we all know what we get, and sometimes the officials are on the side of Argentina. This is as big as a semifinal gets. What do you think happens in it?
Massive semifinal, and I could not agree with you more about Estadio Azteca, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Mike. I firmly believe decades from now, we're going to see documentaries being made on Harry Kane, on Jude Bellingham. And let's say England is to go on to win this World Cup. In those documentaries where some of the best generational players, or maybe some of the best players who ever played the game, when they're all said and done with this, they're going to be talking about that Azteca game as a turning point in their careers, as a turning point in their World Cup. That's how massive of a win, gut check and reality check for many of us with the English national team. That said, they slayed one demon. Now they got to go slay another. And this other is probably the biggest international demon that they have. You're talking about geopolitical history between the two countries. They do not like each other. You're talking about history within the game. The 1986 World Cup is not lost upon the English. How they bowed out in that tournament with the hand of God from Diego Armando Maradona, with the goal of the century, Maradona taking on like 8-9 English players, and what happened, that's not lost upon them. The red card that David Beckham gets with Cholo Simeone, back in, I believe it was 1998, that's not lost upon them. They understand who they're playing against here. This is a tricky one. And I don't know if you heard this, but Argentina's already doing the mind tricks. Guess what color uniform they're going to play with?
I love
the
that.
blues.
Mm-hmm.
That is the blues that they won in 1986 with. This is a difficult one because if we know anything about the English, we don't question the talent. We question the mettle. We question the psyche. And right now, it's reached a boiling point. I too think England has more talent to an extent. If we were to remove what I think is the X factor in this game, Jude Bellingham, I give it to Argentina. But Jude Bellingham is here. So I tend to lean England because Argentina looks tired. But they got Messi, and Messi's a massive sleeve up massive ace up your sleeve.
Argentina do look tired. I thought that was Messi's most pedestrian performance from the World Cup tournament so far, and even then, he almost caught them sleeping, right? He famously saves his energy, and he's always capable of an individual moment of brilliance. But it does seem like all this, quite frankly, unnecessary additional football that they've played, because they should have handled Cabo Verde. They should have put forth a much better effort against Egypt. They played with their food a little bit. I think especially in Cabo Verde, Herc, they look like a team that wanted to save their legs for the next round, and shit got real for them real quick.
I mean, let's be honest. They've been very fortunate, but this is not the first time that we see. People forget what Qatar was like. They lost to Saudi Arabia in the first game. You know, they had a very difficult game against Mexico, where for 60 minutes it was a KG 0-0 until Messi shows up. You know, they suffered versus Poland as well. You know, they suffered versus Australia. They suffered versus the Dutch. Croatia was probably their easiest game. You know, and then they went to the final. I had a ridiculous World Cup final where, yes, they win, but they suffered. This is the Argentine way, and they understand that. In all my years of playing the game and covering the game, I have never seen a gene to compete as I do with the Argentine. They understand the willingness to suffer. And Lionel Scaloni, the head coach, he tailor makes a suit for each opponent. If you saw last game, they didn't care that Switzerland was the underdog. They said, this is how we need to play against Switzerland. And Dibu Martinez, the goalkeeper, everything was route one, direct. And Messi was playing underneath Julian. And then at one point, when everything's going awry, he's on the right-hand side kind of quarterbacking. They don't care if it's aesthetic. They just want to win. And when you have the world's greatest player who's ever played the game in Lionel Messi, who's already put on a show, like you and I are talking about him looking human, bro, we're at this stage. He's got 8 goals, and we're talking he's looking human. Like, think about that.
Grading
he's
on
39 years old. This isn't normal.
Yeah, got a grade on a curve. I think the only time he ever looks human is from the penalty spot. That's the only time he ever looks human. There were some things that happened that were of interest in that recent England performance. We made mention of it. Madueke was not very good. Reece James, who I thought we were done seeing him because he had a hamstring injury. As a Chelsea supporter, I know that's usually it for Reece James. But he came on. He was strong, versatile. Came in initially as a defensive mid, moved out wide in his traditional role. Do we see him in the starting 11? Looked pretty good from what I could see. Is Madueke out?
If Zlatan has anything to do with it, Madueke is out.
Great. Yeah, that was a great
I'll
call.
be honest. Madueke didn't shower himself in glory. This is where I give Thomas Tuchel a lot of credit. The movements weren't like for like. He changed things up, and different players played in different positions. Spence found himself on the left-hand side and looked like Roberto Carlos for a second. I'm like, what are you doing out there? Reece James comes on, and he's in the midfield. Then he goes out, out to the right-back position. But he's coming off a muscular injury, and you got to be delicate with that. I don't know if he starts, because if you're going to start him, you got to assume he at least goes 60. I don't know if that's the recipe here. They are ideal conditions now. Last game was played in Miami. It was the Sunblock Classico versus the Norwegian national team. It's not going to be the case now. You're in a dome, and being in a dome has its benefits, both for you and the opponent. I don't think Reece James starts, though I do like what I saw from him. I love what Thomas Tuchel did. I thought every sub he made, there was an impact, and it wasn't a like for like, which I think shows the tactical flexibility.
All right, as we close things out here on our penultimate episode of Morally Abhorrent, 6 days from now, New Jersey. Which two nations are represented?
My gut tells me the French national team versus the Argentine national team, a repeat. Wow. Argentina finds a way. I'll start with Argentina-England. I love the competitor of Jude Bellingham, but that shows me there are cracks in that system. That shows me that something underlining is going on within that locker room. It didn't stay in there. It boiled over, and you don't want that happening. And they've also been through some physical and emotional just battles, and maybe it's too much. And with Argentina, I do agree, physically it's taken its toll, but they survived, and they have Messi for another day. And we've also seen a few players that have not made a name for himself that I think can make a name for themselves. And we may see a player like Nico Paz, Como player, a player like Barco, a player to the stature of who's the guy that I'm thinking of? The other guy who didn't play. It'll come to me. But they've got players who haven't seen the field, who I think can see the field and make an impact. Giuliano Simeone is who I was thinking of, excuse me. So I think they have a little extra there that will get them over because they know how to compete. The French national team, I'm going to equate it to the 2002 Brazilian team. That's how they're playing right now. And not in the term of Jogo Bonito, but in term of, I don't think anybody can stop them. I think they're going to overwhelm opponents. And if you manage to slow down on Mbappe, what do you do with Michael Olise? If you manage to slow down on Olise, what do you do with Dembele? If you manage to slow down on Dembele, what do you do with Barcola and Desiree Doué? And it goes on and on and on. I like those teams. My gut tells me it's a repeat of our last final.
Yeah, Kone's played really well. They haven't really missed Tukumeni at all. Yeah, just an embarrassment of riches from a golden generation, from a proud footballing nation. Hercules, thank you so much for joining us on Morally Abhorrent. You're the man. You've been doing such great work for ESPN. I remain a huge fan of yours.
Appreciate it, Mike. Money's the check's in the mail.
We will talk to you on our final episode of Morally Abhorrent on Thursday. After the semifinals wrap up, we will preview what promises to be, no matter the results this week, a tremendous final in New Jersey. We'll speak to you next time.